pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny, a chance of showers, a few thunderstorms are high this afternoon and in the upper 50s. We'll see wet and stormy weather tonight, an overnight low, mid to upper 40s, and then showers with a chance of thunderstorms on Wednesday are high, upper 50s to lower 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
4.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
Please stay off the field.
I love it. The announcer said, please stay off the field. There's got to be 60,000 on the field.
And the goalpost has no chance.
No chance. When they rebuild the stadium, they're going to have to put up new goalposts because they're coming down.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from HitThatOne.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
The 99 win against Tennessee was a great one. And I know that 500,000 people were at that game when in reality it was over 60,000. But storming the field, tearing down the goalpost, bringing in the Dixon was part of that whole experience. And there's a possibility where that becomes less or more difficult with the SEC and some of the things that they might be doing with field storming, not just fining, but doing some other things. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers, now a New York Jet. The baseball team back in action against Missouri State. The Northern Lights are apparently visible from Northwest Arkansas, which I thought was cool. Or can you say it, Tommy? Aurora Borealis.
You nailed that.
I did.
I'd have lost a bet on that.
I watched, what was the movie with Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid when I was a kid. Not Storm Watchers, but it was about that, and so that kind of harkens me back to the days of watching that with my father. I'm gonna have to look that movie up.
In Norway, like the place to get the best look at the Northern Lights.
I believe that's correct.
That's right. So one of those things you'd like to do. All right, a lot to get to, off and running here on a Tuesday, brought to you by the Fence Man, the company that we trust anytime we need anything involving a fence, a gate, any kind of repairs, as well as powered automatic gates. So if you want a home or a business with powered automatic gates, they can do it for you at the Fence Man. So if you need anything to make your home or business look better with a new fence, be it commercial or residential, industrial or otherwise, the Fence Man can do it for you. 782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
If you're looking for a good father-son movie with Dylan, Frequency would be a good recommendation. That was
the one with the radio, and he could hear his dad from decades ago. Yeah.
Very, very good. Very movie. Great movie. I would recommend for all of our listeners. If you hadn't seen it, it came out in 2000. Again, Dennis Quaid, Jim Caviezel. There's some other actors and actresses that you would recognize from just watching the film. It's definitely worth it. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Some of the pictures that we've seen on the on social media when it comes to that. I think that's one. I mean, it's not. Is that in the list of one of the 7 wonders of the world? I don't know if that's included.
No, that's not a 7 wonder of the world, but it is something that I'd like to see before I take the long dirt nap. Is this like generally you go to Alaska or somewhere like that, but I think Norway would be pretty cool to do that. Speaking of frequency. Does this baseball team get their frequency kind of dialed back in tonight? Road trip to Missouri State, Springfield, a place that's not always been easy for Arkansas. This doesn't appear on paper to be one of Missouri State's best teams that Arkansas has ever faced, but still they're going to be a challenge tonight, and Arkansas is trying to kind of steady their balance right now.
I think it's going to be pretty heavily contingent on what Cody Adcock does from the mound. He starts tonight. You think about what you don't have. You don't have your best hitter in Jared Wagner. You don't have your center fielder in Tavian Josephberger. And typically you don't play closer midweek, so this Brady Tigert stuff doesn't matter. You don't have who am I missing off the top of my head?
You said Wagner.
Wagner, Josephberger. I just said Tigert. Who am I missing, Christian?
Oh,
that's actually
the catcher.
Well, yeah,
Parker Rowland. That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking of. Thank you. Yeah,
Back
Parker
injury,
Rowland.
yeah.
So he's dealing with back injury. He won't be back tonight unless they pull that out of there. You know what? So I think this is kind of a gut check game for this baseball team tonight, and really this weekend when Texas A&M comes to town, who's sitting at 9-9. You're 11-7 in the SEC West, so you do not want to relinquish a lead. Alabama's also tied with them as well. So Rowland, I think we underestimated his value heading into that series last week because they go over in Athens.
Well, I let me just argue the other side for the sake of argument. I mean, you look at his batting percentage. Hudson Polk came in, got you a couple runs last week in that third game. I don't know that that's the reason you lost, but when you look at what you replace, as long as Hudson Polk can be a good defensive catcher, can block the plate, cannot let balls get by him, nothing's going to the backstop, can deal with a pitch that's low, you're fine because, Parker's bat wasn't exactly the hottest on the team. So, I mean, if Hudson Polk can just be serviceable there, that's probably the least difficult spot to run your backup out there at an extended amount of time. You look at Josenberger, you look at Wagner. These are guys that were above 300 that you needed to provide pop in the top half of the lineup. So that would just be the other side of the coin, I'd argue, if you're looking at what's more valuable. But nothing's more valuable than a catcher that can make sure that the ball's not getting by in a critical moment, particularly when you've got a bases-loaded situation and you're trying to keep the ball out over the heart of the plate, and you may have something low and in the dirt and here and there. You got to have a guy that can be a great defensive stopper back there.
Yeah, and I think when you look at now, Michael Turner is the exception of the three guys, but Grant Cook, good catcher, part of that College World Series team. We know Casey Opitz was an incredible catcher, described as the best defensive catcher in all of college baseball. Those two guys, now Turner could hit the out of the ball, but those two, they didn't have good batting percentages at Arkansas, but they were tremendous behind the plate. And that's, I think, the presence. While you mentioned that Polk might be a better hitter than Rowland, he's not a better defensive catcher. And that's what Arkansas really needed right now. And the fact that you have, again, issues after this last weekend, which I think they're going to get shored up. Dave's used to figuring things out. This isn't some, thing that is something new that he's had to deal with or whatever. But I want to see how they handle tonight and how they handle this weekend, because Wagner's not going to be back. Tavian Josenberger's not going to be back. You're probably going to get Tigert back, but Rowland's probably not going to be back. So three of your best players are going to be out, not just tonight, but this weekend as well. So you got to figure that out.
And you probably won't see Tigert tonight. I'm guessing at that, but I'm guessing it'd have to be a tailor-made situation to probably bring him in for relief, or maybe he comes in just for a batter or two, 12, 15 pitches tops. That, you want to warm him up, put him out there. That how much tax do you want to put on that arm ahead of this weekend, where he may be the difference in winning and losing a game or two?
Yeah, when you again are having issues injury-wise, the breath of fresh air is you're at least getting one of your guys back, but like you said, we don't know what he's going to look like. David Horn, Matt Hobbs, and that team and that staff know a lot more what Tigert's been looking like in bullpen and batting practice and some of that, what he'll be able to do on the field. But it's one thing, again, do it in practice coming off an injury. It's another thing to do it against SEC quality hitters. Now, while A&M is not South Carolina or Florida or LSU, this is a baseball team that wants to get back in contention in the West. They're not too far behind right now. A couple wins in Fayetteville this weekend puts them right back in the thick of things.
All right, but let's steady the ship tonight. I know a lot of people are going to head up to Springfield. Phil's going to be in Harrison today doing halftime. He'll be at Buckets Sports Bar and Grill, and I think a lot of people will drive up 65, drive over from Harrison Mountain Home area through Harrison, and head up there for the game tonight. So if you're headed to Fayetteville, for this coming weekend for Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. If you need a place to stay, we'd recommend the Inn at the Mill. It's a unique property with unique qualities and water features, and it's the old mill, and it's got that natural spring and really a relaxing place to start your day with a cup of coffee, sitting out on their patio by the old mill. 11 years running, they've been the highest rated for staff interaction. And I can attest to this. Anytime you call, anytime you show up, their staff is just wonderful, making sure you get your reservation or get checked in. It is seamless and painless. Sometimes you go to these hotels, you got to wait and wait and wait. It's never that way at the Inn at the Mill. And it's right in the heart of Northwest Arkansas, close to the AMP, Crystal Bridges, the Naturals Ballpark, and, of course, campus as well. Call and make a reservation for your next stay in Northwest Arkansas at the Inn at the Mill, right in the heart of everything, I-49 at the Johnson exit. 479-443-1800. That's 443-1800, or online at inatthemill.com.
Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet. Let's talk about the blockbuster trade next on the Morning Rush.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from tuning.
This is Governor Asa Hutchinson, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley...
Video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric.
Every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer.
When it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got coffee.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Tommy, and I had a complete brain loss.
3-2 pitch. Deep drive by Slavens to right field, headed to the wall and out of here.
Do you enjoy watching Arkansas press conferences? Find all of them on our YouTube channel. You can hear from Sam Pittman, Eric Musselman, Dave Van Horn, and Razorback players. Just search Hit That Line and click subscribe.
Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet. Want to hear from the Packers GM Brian Gutekunst and what he had to say about the blockbuster trade involving his former quarterback and New York coming up.
Did you see the numbers for sportsbook wagering in Arkansas in March?
What it reached to?
Bet Saracen was over $21 million, and it was, more than the others licensed casinos in the state combined. It was incredible the way the state has really turned and made Bet Saracen more or less the official sports betting app. So if you're looking for a place to find some fun on the NBA playoffs, there's no question who your friends and neighbors are choosing. There's no question who your buddies are choosing, and that's Bet Saracen. Not even close. I was wondering what the March Madness numbers might look like, and they were just off the charts. No one even sniffed double figures, if you will. And Bet Saracen had all the others more than doubled up. So a lot of your friends and neighbors are trusting Bet Saracen. If you haven't downloaded the Bet Saracen app, it's a fun time of the year to do that. College baseball heating up, headed towards its postseason. The NBA is in its postseason, and Major League Baseball is an everyday deal right now. So plenty to do, and I bet, no pun intended, I bet there's some stuff on the NFL draft coming up that you could have some fun with. I don't know that, but I would suspect maybe some fun stuff there on prop bets or whatever. So Bet Saracen, go to betsaracen.com or download it in the Apple App Store or wherever you get your apps. Watch that cool video at betsaracen.com.
Yeah, there's plenty of NFL draft stuff looking at this right now. I know that you had at one point in time, C.J. Stroud was easily the highest on the list to be the second overall pick. Now Will Levis has kind of gone up a little bit. You've got plus 275 for that's the 9th overall pick. But they've got they've got first overall pick. They've got first drafted linebacker, second. They've got all these different things. Not surprised. This list just keeps scrolling and scrolling down here. It's got all that stuff. All right, here is Brian Gutekunst, Packers GM, on moving on from Aaron Rodgers.
We're excited about this football team and where it can go. Obviously, we're a long ways away from what our 53-man roster and our 16-man practice squad is going to look like. But we're really excited about it. It's going to be new, obviously, specifically at quarterback, it looks like. But at the same time, the goals don't change around here. It's going to be the same goals we've always had, right? There's one goal here every single year, no matter what. And just like it was back in the last time we moved on from one quarterback to the other, right? The goals are the same.
So you think about two of the biggest quarterback legends that we've gotten to see recently. Tom Brady, now retired, no longer playing in the National Football League. When he elected to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that was a huge storyline. Big deal. Now Aaron Rodgers moving on from the Green Bay Packers, very similar to Brett Favre back in the day, getting traded and going through all this drama. That's going to happen. The NFC East with him and Josh Allen, those are going to be two marquee games. I saw that they've already been slotted for up to 6 primetime games just based on the value of having New York and Rodgers combined. So the Jets are going to be entertainment value. The question is, can they live up to all this hype that they're getting right now?
Are the Jets getting a good deal? Is the 39-year-old quarterback worth everything they've given up? I mean, he's a Hall of Fame guy. I get that. But at 39 years old, is there enough runway left here to get liftoff for the Jets?
I think a lot of people think that the Packers won this trade, which is fine by me as a Packers fan. Now, I don't think Jordan Love is the answer long-term for the organization, but I think the Packers won this trade because I don't believe Aaron wanted to be a Green Bay Packer anymore. He wanted to move on, and it was I don't know if you want to call it an amicable split for both parties, but it was time for this to happen. A lot of people thought it was going to happen after the draft, but it happened the week of the draft.
I think the timing makes perfect sense because when is your draft capital worth more than any other part of the calendar year? That's probably the days leading up to the draft if you've got interested parties. I mean, you really had two teams trying to work it out here, and maybe there was a third team or something involved in some kind of three-way trade or whatever. But if you're going to get the deal done, the draft seemed like the deadline because that's when you want to kind of know where you stand on picks and everything else. So not surprised at all by the timing.
Aaron Rodgers now has something to prove that he has been doubted before. Various rankings, other things have had him lower than he would have liked, and he's gone out and have MVP type of seasons. He's not playing the NFC anymore. He's playing the AFC. I know the running joke was, well, he can't make it past the NFC championship game. A lot of times he would lose to the San Francisco 49ers. Now he's going to have to get by Josh Allen, Bill Belichick, Dolphins, I guess, with Tua. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. And then the other AFC quarterbacks, most notably Patrick Mahomes, which is the best quarterback in the National Football League right now. Also, if you do make it to a certain round or whatever, Joe Burrow is also going to be waiting on you as well. So the AFC has the better quarterbacks, and they just added another one. So Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow. There is no debate on where the better quarterbacks lie in the National Football League.
No, and that AFC should be a lot of fun. I mean, for people on the East Coast that really pay attention to every game in that division, that's going to be a fun division to track because of all the quarterbacks you just listed there. But Aaron Rodgers, New York City, I mean, yeah, dude's weird anyway. I mean, it's probably a perfect environment as far as market and place for him to go because, you know, weirdness is widely accepted in New York City. So I think he's found a perfect home for him.
And I think if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan waking up this morning, not that you just had this easy path to the Super Bowl by any stretch of the imagination. San Francisco is going to still be a really good football team. The team in your own division, Philadelphia Eagles, they're linked and rumored to Derrick Henry right now. We'll see if anything happens there. But I think at least it got a slight bit easier. If you remember that game years ago, and that would have been the divisional round, if I remember that right, where Aaron made that miraculous pass and they had that second half comeback. You don't have to worry about him in the playoffs anymore. You do still have to worry about some really good teams, but I think Dallas Cowboy fans are happy to see him go elsewhere in the other conference when it comes to the AFC and the NFC.
Oh yeah,
we think the Cowboys do in the draft.
Yeah, what are they going to do, Christian?
Oh man, you know,
that didn't sound confident.
We need a quarterback, I still think. That can take us to the Super Bowl, but I know that's not going to happen.
So. I've seen some Drew Sanders mocks for the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, their owner's seen a lot of Drew Sanders in person this year. I don't know if there's any truth to that.
Why do we always get caught up in that? I mean, Jerry never drafts Razorbacks. He's drafted, 2 Razorbacks in 40 years or since the late 80s. He's drafted Felix Jones and Ridgeway, right? That's the only 2 he's ever drafted. The Cowboy franchise has never drafted a bunch of Razorbacks.
Mm-hmm. But we said we said the same thing heading into the draft 2 years ago in the Ridgeway. So that's
okay. Yeah, I mean it's happened twice, but there's not a regular occurrence of Jerry Jones employing former Razorbacks.
You're exactly right. No, there's no question. But I'm just telling you what I saw. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I'm just telling you what I read on that. And I don't know how solid the Cowboys are at linebacker either. Besides, what is it, Van Der Esch? Who's y'all's other linebacker? That's a stud.
I don't think we have another stud.
We need another one.
I don't think we do.
Well, Sanders would be one for you, but of course, if he goes drafted to the Cowboys, or any other team, Alabama's going to claim him just as much as anybody else. Hey, have you seen the new smoked Philly beef and Swiss? It's back at Art's Barbecue. They bring it around once or twice a year. It's one of my favorites that's on the menu, and it's on special right now. They smoke that prime rib up, and they shave it, put it on the griddle with bell peppers, onions, and then cover it with Swiss cheese and load it up. You get a side of your choice, and this is a mountain of a sandwich, perfect for lunch and maybe your dinner as well, or get it for dinner and have it for lunch the next day. It is more than a mouthful at Art's Barbecue. Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Call ahead, and they'll have it ready for you at 452-2550. It's back, the smoked Philly beef and Swiss at Art's Barbecue in Fort Smith.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
This is former Razorback Chris Gregg, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Has your wife started talking about having a hot girl summer? Does she keep adding hashtag YOLO to her social media posts? Is she spending more time with her new trainer than with you? It might be time to discuss what a divorce would mean for you and your family. Mock Legal Solutions is here to help. We offer flat fees and payment plans. Don't let hot girl summer sneak up on you. Call us today for a free consultation. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
The Links at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback baseball and enjoy everyday food and drink specials like $2 domestic beer or $3 premiums. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Does your vehicle have hail damage? Don't use a traveling dent repair service. Stay local. Stay with someone you can trust. With over 26 years of experience, Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair will get the job done right the first time. Call Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair at 479-461-9764. For hail damage to your vehicle, call Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, a name you can trust, and stay local. That's Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, 479-461-9764, the #1 fan of Arkansas sports.
Spring showers bring April flowers, and June heat brings the air you can wear. Well, don't sweat it. Call Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. We service all brands and install York high-efficiency HVAC products. So for all your heating and air conditioning and plumbing needs, Give Blaylock a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I appreciate you and Tommy having me on this morning. It's always great to join the morning rush.
Swung on, belted by Cali to deep right center. You got to go. Get out of here. The second home run of the day for Caleb Cali.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
Some of you have heard the news that the SEC is contemplating harsher field storming penalties, including, now hear this, the loss of a home game or forfeiting wins. This is via Pat 40. I want to discuss this coming up and the impact and the ramification it could have on this league.
Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design and Forest River, and now Brinkley RVs, including the Model Z, are available at Wheels. They've got everything you need if you're just now beginning to get your camper ready and de-winterize, if you will, get ready for the season. They've got all the service and parts and everything you might need to be camping very soon this spring. It's all at Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
We got a field stormer. And, folks, you're saying, now why would you field storm? It's a number 15 team in the country. You want to know why? Because rivalries matter in college football. And this one runs deep, real deep.
I think about that memory and experience for every Razorback fan that was in attendance against Texas in 2021. Some young fans that had never seen the likes of an Arkansas-Texas rivalry game in Fayetteville because it hadn't been played since the 90s. Now, some of you got a chance to watch the game in 2014 or when Texas whooped Arkansas in 2008 or 2009, whatever it was. But this was a game that a ton of people were so excited about, and your football team came through. And at the tail end, after you waxed them up and down the field, you got to let the emotions flow. You got to let them fly. And it was great. It was glorious. I was sitting next to 50, 60-plus-year-old Hog fans that were acting like they were teenagers, running through and jumping on the field. And now there's a possibility that that's gone, eradicated, done, forever. Or at least that the possibility if you do it, you're going to get severely punished. What do you think about this report?
Well, clearly, first of all, field storming's fun. But I think we'd all agree when we take a step back and remove emotion, it's dangerous as well. People get hurt. You never hear about the fans that get hurt, break legs. In other countries, I don't recall any recent deaths, but I'm telling you, in soccer or football internationally, it happens more than we realize. It is not a situation without risk. It's not just the fun police are stepping in here, and that's what this is about. And this is not the greatest correlation, but it's the one I can think of. You know how they've instituted a lot more targeting and they've tried to legislate out of the game of football shots to the head and all these highlight hits? Why is that? Because we got more and more proof that there's concussions, that there's long-term effects from that type of contact in football, right? So they're trying to take that away because it's dangerous. Because what does the NFL ultimately want to avoid? These massive, massive lawsuits. I don't think it's much different approach in what we're seeing with this field storming in the SEC and really the sport as a whole, from the NCAA level of administration down. At some point, a student athlete, a fan, security personnel, somebody's going to get severely hurt, or there's going to be a fatality in one of these these people storming the field. It happens in other countries. Why can't it happen here? So they're trying to avoid this massive lawsuit that they feel like is a cloud hanging over their head. That's the ultimate root of it. But why this? Why now? Why is the SEC threatening a severe penalty of losing a home game? Because no one's taking the current fines seriously. $250,000 or $500,000? I mean, if you read Pat Forty's article, you saw what the school president said last year from Tennessee after beating Alabama while holding a victory cigar. We'll pay it every year. Well, if that's the approach of the school president, you clearly don't have a policy that has anyone's attention. You have a policy with no teeth. So if the fine for driving up and down I-49 over the speed limit is $25, are you paying a lot more attention to your speedometer? Of course not. But if the fine becomes $1,000 for breaking the limit of speed on I-49, you're probably watching the needle a lot more, right? You're going to make sure I'm going to set the cruise control. If it's 75, I'm not going more than 75 because the penalty is severe enough. The league's trying to come up with penalties that get the attention of those in charge. Because clearly, I mean, look at the video from Hunter Yurachek even following the Texas game. Did he seem overly concerned about the field storming? No, he said, let them go. We'll deal with the fine. The money has gotten so large, the fine hasn't kept up.
And if I remember correctly, it would be almost more catastrophic to try and prevent all these students from coming down and hopping the bleachers and stuff. I got to go back and watch that clip again, but I think I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something, I think it'd be safer to let them go or something like that. I got to go back and watch that clip.
There was no concern about the financial ramifications of the people storming. And listen, it's good for recruiting. It makes us feel better as fans. I'm not necessarily anti-field storming, but we're trying to understand what the league's after here. The league's after not letting its member institutions get sued. One of its personnel die. Think of a reporter for ESPN or the SEC Network, or a game official, or a opposing coach, a visiting football player. Think of there's a lot of bad things that can happen when you intermingle and overwhelm the field or a court the way it is. It's a wonder when Arkansas fans rushed the court at Bud Walton after the Auburn game. I wish Chuck was here with us today because he was right in the middle of it all. If one of those players would have fallen on top of Chuck or Z, it could have severely injured anyone at that scoring table that was trapped. I promise you, if Chuck, had that situation do over, that was not an easy situation for him to sit through with all these people hanging literally over your head, standing on the scorer's table.
Yeah.
Well, if one of them would have fallen on top of him, you think that would have been good for Chuck? Of course not.
We'll get his thoughts later on tomorrow. Got a text in for B in Clarksville asking if Georgia ever found the girl that landed in between the hedges. You've seen the video of her disappearing in the bush or whatever. I know there's other highlights and stuff when people getting run over. I think it was a Michigan game. They had a field storming and 75 people were injured or whatever during I think that might have been mentioned in Pat's article. Did you see though who was spearheading this kind of thing from the departments? Did you see who was really in charge of trying to get this in? Alabama's Greg Byrne. Yeah. You had Brooks, I think it's Ron Brooks from Georgia, who at some point in time are going to get stormed when they're on the road and they lose. And then Mitch Barnhart for Kentucky, which the Wildcats have been a part of many court stormings, not field stormings, but court stormings in basketball.
And that makes perfect sense when you think of it, because Alabama doesn't storm the field in football, but it happens every time they get beat on the road. Kentucky, same situation. And who is it most dangerous for? Alabama players and staff.
Yep.
Kentucky players and staff. I've seen these situations watching, just like the rest of you, where it's inevitable there's going to be a court storming, and they send everybody off but the 5 scrubs that are left on the floor. The head coach and the 5 players remain. And why do they do that? Because they know how dangerous it is.
We saw 2 years ago when Arkansas hosted Kentucky, there was a thought that there might be a court storm. It didn't end up happening, but you had Kentucky, Cal send his players off early, and Arkansas fans not a fan of that, but we saw that firsthand in our own experience in our own backyard here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So that's definitely there. This is going to get discussed at the spring meetings coming up on May the 30th.
This will never happen.
You don't think it?
No, but this is the threat. I mean, this is like when Dad comes in wagging the belt at you. One more time. If I hear one more word out of you and your brothers, you and your sisters, I'm coming in here with this belt. Don't make me pull this car over. This is what the league's doing a little bit here. Is this extreme? I think so. I don't think there is a snowball's chance in Hades they're going to take home games away. Now, is the fines or the penalties become more severe? Yes. But there's way too much risk
and forfeiting wins.
Well, and how much control do the schools really have over this? I mean, let's stop and think about it. The fans in Fayetteville against the Texas game, or we'll just use our own examples. How much control did Hunter Yurachek and his staff really have over that? I mean, they were going to do it regardless. You're overwhelmed. You can't hire enough security. And so unless you want to do like baseball and just put nets all the way around the field, and I don't ever remember any field stormings in baseball, but, unless you just want to net the crowd in, I don't think that's going, how you going to stop them? And if the crowd wants to tear the net down around the field, I'm guessing that could be done.
Yeah.
But how much ultimate control? You can't hire enough. I mean, you think these people that work for Landmark are going to stop a rush of 5,000 or 6,000, 7,000 students coming down? It's just not going to happen. There's just nothing they can ultimately do to guarantee it doesn't happen.
If you've got a take on this, jump in 877-377-6963. Dan in Mount Ida asking the question, if the new rule is instated, if it's implemented, what's to keep the storming and prevent teams from losing a game? What he's asking basically, if there's a team on the brink of a playoff game or big time bowl, and then the rule is implemented and they lose the win because it's forfeited. Well, one, I would say, Dan, is the teams that are on the brink of a national championship or college football playoff are probably not going to be storming the field. They will be the teams that are used to these type of situations, i.e., Georgia and Alabama, which you don't see court storm.
Hang on. Now, I didn't read it right, but there was nothing in there that I read about forfeiting the game that when you storm the field. I didn't see anything about forfeiting a game.
I saw forfeiting wins. I'm assuming it was.
I saw forfeiting home games, but that would be a next year's cycle. They're not going to. So when they come out with the schedule for the next year, instead of playing Alabama at home, you're going to have to go on the road, perhaps. Or I don't know how they would work it out, but you'd lose a home game.
So is that headline
the following year
wrong about forfeiting wins that I read?
I don't. Maybe I read a different headline, but the Pat Forty deal. Unless I just didn't read it right. I didn't see anything about forfeiting a win because your fans stormed the field. I just saw where you were going to lose a home game. The way I read it was the following year when the schedule rolled back around.
Maybe maybe someone put the.
Well, again, this is just a proposal.
Yeah.
This is not a rule. This is just thoughts being kind of floated out there a month in advance of going to Destin for league meetings. Again, I don't think there is a chance in heck that this is going to happen. At least not to this severity. Could there be recruiting visits lost? Could there be league sanctions? Could there be greater increases of losses of your conference distributions? Could you be, maybe forced to not have as much staff? There's other ways to punish, but I don't think you're going to. I just don't say this is the next step.
So
maybe this is 2 steps down the road, but this isn't the next logical step that, hey, we take the fines from $250,000, $350,000, $500,000 to we're just going to take a home game away from you.
So do you think they just up the fines when it comes to the spring meetings in about a month? Are they just going to up to the fines to say 7 figures? Are they going to get it to 500,000? I mean, would that
get their attention when you've got $100 million plus athletic budgets? Is $1 million enough? I mean, because the fans clearly don't think $500,000 or $350,000 is enough.
Well, I'll go back to what you said about Tennessee's school president, and it wasn't just him, Hunter Yurachek. You've seen other athletics directors or presidents when, in the heat of the moment, when they are asked about a certain situation, let it happen. They'll say they'll school fights on. They'll do this. They'll do that. Now, maybe they rethink that following the game the next day or the next week when they're actually looking at their budget or whatnot. But at the time of the said win, of the upset, of the game winner, ADs and presidents most of the time, at least when caught on camera, are like, screw it, let them have it. I mean, Texas A&M,
what
Tennessee.
Control over? You don't have any control over it.
Oh, and that's a good point. But I would say when you have people in power, like you're saying, that kind of carpe blanc, let it happen, whatever, then the rationale from the fans is this is okay.
Well, so who do you punish? Do you punish the fans? Do you punish the school? I mean, who ends up ultimately getting who should receive the punishment if your fans can't stay off the court or the field? Who should it be?
You're not going to up.
Should it be the school? Should it be the fans?
I mean, it's a school. You're not going to up fans' ticket prices.
No. You could have games with no fans. That would be, rather than take a home. Now, that would be the essential of taking a home game away because you're taking the revenue away. That would be another option. If you're going to throw out crazy things like taking home games away, why don't you just throw out an option of playing without fans?
Good luck, kind of like you're saying.
I don't think either one are going to happen.
Yeah, that's not going to get. Dennis says that he gets where you're coming from, but life involves risk, and I think what he's saying is while injuries have happened and in field stormings and court stormings, to my knowledge, we have not heard about anyone passing away or dying during these things. Maybe that would be the.
But didn't you say there were 75 injuries at a?
Yeah, I just said that.
You won't be liable for that. You won't pay for somebody's injuries because you didn't have proper security? Because that's exactly what their attorneys are going to argue. You didn't properly secure that field, and my client was hurt, even though they voluntarily took themselves down there. But that's not the injuries they're ultimately worried about. You can probably dispose of those in court. The ones you're worried about are the opposing cheerleaders, the opposing players, the opposing coaches, the independent media, all these people that are in harm's way, and what do you do about it?
The example that I think was brought to my attention yesterday is the incident with Tennessee and Alabama last year. I believe it was Jermaine Burton, the Alabama wide receiver, that people were like, oh, he hit the Tennessee fan. He basically boinked her on the head, and she was running, scream or whatever, and did that. We had that debate last year when that happened, but that would be more prevalent. I think about when Arkansas beat Auburn, not last season, but the season before, and you had Devo dunking on Wendell Green's face, and then Wendell tries to charge him, and then he gets surrounded by Arkansas fans. I'm frankly surprised that at least we didn't see any videos or anything becoming of that, because that could have easily escalated into a fist fight, brawl, or whatever, with so many Arkansas fans being on the court. But my whole thing is the 99 Tennessee game, the 2021 Texas game, the 2022 Auburn win. All three of those wins are not the same type of thing without those court stormings and field stormings. You don't have the same attention. You don't have the same pictures. You don't have the same moment without the aftermath of those wins. That's my feeling on that. And it's not just Arkansas. It's the Tennessee win last year. It's the Texas A&M win a couple years ago when they beat Alabama. There are significant wins, not just in this league, but others, that you don't just remember the win. You remember what happened after that said win. I think for Arkansas fans, that's a memory that they will cherish the rest of their life.
But you can totally understand why Alabama and Kentucky want something done. Because their fans there are programs that don't storm courts or fields. But every time they seem to lose on the road, it happens to them, and eventually somebody's going to get hurt. Isn't that what Dad always says? Or Mom, somebody's going to get hurt. Well, that's inevitable. And that's the that's the greatest fear. I guess the greatest fear would be someone lose their life in one of these. That's an opposing player, coach. That would be a PR, nightmares. That'd be the least of your problems is your PR problem. But they have to be proactive in this. And I know everybody, well, they're the fun police. They're taking all the fun away. Yeah, I understand that. But what are they supposed to do? Sit on their hands and do nothing? Say nothing? Have no policy? That's where, what's your defense in court if something really bad goes wrong? What's your defense in court on how you tried to mitigate it, how you tried to stop it? You got to have strong policies that have teeth. And clearly when you got school presidents smoking cigars saying, we'll pay the fine every year, you don't have the leadership's attention within your conference.
No, that's fair. We got some calls on this. We're going to get to those coming up in just a bit. In case you're just jumping in with us this morning, Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush, Tommy Kraft, Christian Johnson, Ty Richardson talking about the possibility, Pat Forty's piece of the SEC considering harsher field storming penalties and a loss of a home game if that indeed happens.
Hey, one of the places I'd like to storm the court would be at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. We did that a couple of weeks ago, had that grilled chicken sandwich. The thing I like about the chicken sandwich, we talk a lot about that because it's mine and your favorite. You ever had a dry piece of chicken there?
Nope.
I don't know what
Always
they do,
juicy.
but it's never a dry sandwich. You never bite into that thing. Man, this is overcooked. This is a little dry. It's always perfect. And I know the burgers are are spot on every time as well.
Yeah, at CJ's at both the Russellville and Fayetteville location, you're going to get a great sandwich regardless if it's the chicken like the one Tommy's talking about or the burger. And the awesome thing is that you're also going to get that great fry sauce in addition to that. That's one of Tommy and I's favorites, whether you put it on the salad, whether you put it on your fries, your burger, your chicken sandwich. I'm a big fan of the brown sugar cinnamon shake. It is awesome. Really, anything you're going to get at CJ's is awesome. The Russellville location on Arkansas Avenue, it's the original. You can dine in and take out. And the Fayetteville location, there's curbside, there's the drive-thru. You can order on the app, and you can eat it dine-in as well. When it comes to CJ's, no one does it better. Just ask the best of the best in Northwest Arkansas. They voted CJ's as the best burger, also in the top 2 for cheap eats and fries as well. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best, and they are at CJ's. Let's go to Brent in Stuttgart. Brent, what's your take on this whole SEC storm in the field, harsher policy probability?
What's my take on it? I hope this year we have lots of opportunities to storm the court.
Me too.
Storm the field. Not that I would ever partake in it, being on canes or in a wheelchair. So, no, I just try to get out of my seats without getting run over.
Well, Brent, that actually brings up an interesting point. So you're in a situation where it's very difficult for you to be mobile or get around. I mean, I don't know if you were in town for the Texas game or the 99 Tennessee game, but I mean, how did you get? I mean, I'm just being honest, and if you could share this, I mean, did you get trampled?
Sure.
Did you get run over? Like, what happened in that situation for you?
Well, at the Tennessee game, 1999, I was in my seat there. I had just outdoor regular seats on the visiting side, and my mom and I let the trampling. We just sat in the seats till they all hit the field, and we headed to our car. It was really simple.
Probably the quickest you ever got out of there parking wise, Tommy. I'd say.
Yeah, and for the Texas game, I had for years I had the indoor club seats, and it was the fastest I ever got out of the parking lot that night as well.
I was there for the Texas game, and we were on the visiting side as well. We were on the east side, and not everybody around us, but a good part of that because we were a few sections over from the student section. I mean, there was a lot that emptied out from the east side and all parts of the stadium, but particularly the east side because that's where the students are at. And I sat there and I watched. I didn't, I had my son who I guess was 11 at the time with me. And I didn't want to get down there because, the odds of something happening or getting separated or just increase going in there. Last thing you want to do is get separated from your kid and that kind of deal. Well, why were you separated? Well, because we stormed the field. Dear,
and it's not like your daughter where you can hold her hand.
Right.
Dylan doesn't probably want to hold your
hand. He's 11. But I mean, but it was fun to watch, and it was cool, and I'm glad the moment happened. But I also understand, the risk. I mean, it's pretty people coming over walls. This happened at Oklahoma State. They stormed the field, and I think someone broke their leg coming over that wall because it's like an 8-foot drop.
Yeah.
So we just think it's fun, and it does look like fun. And it is fun for those that are out there, but there is a lot of risk that's involved.
Yeah, I remember in 2014 when I was a sophomore, the railing that guarded the student section all around were ripped apart. I mean, there was multiple destruction of property when Arkansas fans stormed the field. Like the student section guard railing was just done. It was done. And it wasn't just there. It was other parts of the stadium as well. I know some of the bathrooms were torn up after the finally beating LSU and after that 17-game losing streak. But we'll come back to this. I know we've got Jimmy and Conway who's on with us as well. What are your thoughts on the SEC potentially upping the punishment for field storming? That includes court storming as well. We'll talk more of that in an hour or two.
Brent, good to hear from you. Call back anytime. Baseball tonight in Springfield, Missouri. Arkansas and Missouri State, 6:30 tonight. We'll have the game broadcast here for you on most of these stations at 6. That means Phil Elson's on his way to Springfield. He's going to stop in Harrison today for halftime. You can join him at Buckets Sports Bar and Grill. beginning at 11 today. He'll be there from 11 to 2 for halftime today in Harrison. If you're listening on 104.3, have some lunch at Buckets today with Phil and halftime today starting at 11 at Buckets in Harrison.
Speaking of fun police, Zachford Moundberg texting in this morning. His pregnant wife wanted to storm the field against Texas, but he wouldn't let her. That's kind of sucking the fun out of that night for Zach and Moundberg. Come on, man. You got to let her do it. I understand why that happened. I understand your point of view, Zach. All right, more of the Morning Rush coming up. Hour 2 next.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. When it's springtime in Arkansas, it's raining. And I talked to meteorologist Zach Scott, and he tells me that April is one of the highest average rainfall months in Arkansas. May I recommend some Leaf Guard gutters to you? You see, not only is Leaf Guard gutters the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market guaranteed to never ever clog with all that muck and mud and shingle grit, but with Leaf Guard, quality and durability are built in to handle 32 inches of rain per hour. That's 3 times more than ever recorded by the National Weather Bureau. Now, if we ever do get 32 inches of rain an hour, we better start building another ark. Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas is having home improvement days in April. $500 off a complete Leaf Guard system. New orders only. Minimum purchase required. Some restrictions may apply, but that's all the stuff that you can ask your sales associate about. Oh, and ask him to give you info on the 18 months no interest financing. Senior and military discounts are available as well. See if you qualify. Home improvement days at Leaf Guard of Arkansas. $500 off a complete Leaf Guard system. Hit them up at 501-664-5400 or leafguardandmore.com.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Rath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke mile service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Call Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny, a chance of showers, a few thunderstorms are high this afternoon into the upper 50s. We'll see wet and stormy weather tonight, and overnight low, mid to upper 40s, and then showers with a chance of thunderstorms on Wednesday are high, upper 50s to lower 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Please stay off the field. I love it. The announcer said, please stay off the field. There's got to be 60,000 on the field.
And the goalpost has no chance.
No chance. When they rebuild the stadium, they're going to have to put up new goalposts because they're coming down.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush. You heard the highlights from Tennessee and Arkansas in '99 when you beat T. Martin and the defending national champions in the same score that you lost to them the year before, unfortunately, in Knoxville. That was a great day. You brought the goalpost to Dixon. According to Brad, who just texted in, when they were ripping the goalpost down, apparently the goalpost fell on his friend's nose and broke it. But nevertheless, his friend and him and everyone else brought those goalposts to Dixon and had themselves quite a night. Can you imagine just have the blood out gushing and then still decide, you know what, I'm still going to take this goalpost to Dixon? Evidently, that's what Brad's friend did.
Do we ever button up and truly figure out what happened to those? I think the common belief, no one really knows for sure. They were laying up against the pub there on Dixon, and then I think a lot of people believe they were refurbished and put back in the stadium for the next game.
Oh, really?
I don't know. That's what I've been told, but I don't think there's really any definitive word on whatever. I mean, you've never seen them again, right?
Not to my knowledge.
I mean, they haven't been cut up and sold off for, hey, here's $20 for your little piece of that goalpost or whatever.
They're not in the apartment. They're
the ones in
away.
Tennessee that went in the river, they brought them back to the stadium, right? Put them back up. So.
Oh, are they back? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they took them out of the river. So.
At one point in time, I know on Google Maps, they had the Tennessee goalpost inside of the river, which I thought was, is that the Cumberland or is it the Tennessee River?
I believe, well, don't give me the line. thought it was the Tennessee River, but what I don't know what is the answer. Clearly they're trying to get the attention of administration and all this. All right, we'll get back to this. Your calls. I think everybody's got a thought or an opinion on what should happen, and I also want to hear from people that actually storm the field. It's one thing to have an opinion watching on TV. One thing to have an opinion sitting in the stands and not going down there. What's your opinion after going through that experience? I'd like to hear from some of y'all that have done that. Brought to you by APAC Arcola, Standard Materials Group, Marion County Paving. If you're looking for a new line of work, looking for a new company, they are looking to hire people right now. You can go to jobs.crh.com, and the process is simple and easy with these companies because they got a map, and wherever you live or wherever you're looking to move, you can look at all the job openings that are there, whether it's a diesel mechanic job or whether it's an electrician or maybe you are a heavy equipment operator or you have your CDL license. They got a variety of opportunities for you. You've worked on road paving and road construction crews. They got jobs for you. So a variety of work that all offer top pay, great sign-on bonus, full benefits package, not just insurance and dental and health and vision, but also retirement and profit sharing as well. Wonderful company to work for. Go to jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola, Standard Materials Group, and Marion County Paving are equal opportunity employers.
We'll come back to that question in just a bit. Baseball back in action tonight, 6:30 on ESPN Plus and right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. You're hoping this team bounces back.
Look at that. I bounced back.
I hope we can say that after tonight's game. Now, a couple key players still out. Tavian Josenberger still out. Parker Rowland still out. Jared Wagner still out. Doubt you see Brady Tiger tonight. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I think he's going to play at some point this weekend against Texas A&M. But this is a good opportunity. Midweek games are opportunities that Dave has utilized in the past for other players who don't traditionally play on the weekends to play. Well, now that gives even more playing time because of the injuries due to the lineup. I'll tell you one thing, though. Caleb Cali, who at one point was hitting, I think, below 200 or right at 200. I think he's above 300 right now. And he hit over 500 last week during the course of the entire games.
Got to have some people come on. I mean, got to have some people step up in these moments, and he was certainly a bright spot last week. And Arkansas seems to always have one player that's kind of the bright spot, even when you have a maybe a gray cloud hanging over your head. I don't know that tonight's game is a must-win, but it would feel like you've righted the ship if you could go there and win and maybe even win comfortably. Put this game away and never any doubt. Now, if you lose, does that mean you're going to lose 3 against A&M? Of course not. What happens against A&M on Thursday is far more important than this game. But, you need to feel like you've got your swagger back a little bit or at least steadied your stride and you got a little confidence going into Thursday. I think anything short of a win leaves you a little bit anxious for the start of the A&M series.
Dave Van Horn is 8-2 now against the Missouri Bears. You're hoping it's 9-2 after tonight. They've had some really good games, not just under Dave Van Horn and with Keith Gunn, but you've had the Missouri State and Arkansas. Hopefully you'll have another good matchup tonight. I really don't want to watch a 20-5 blowout either way. Even if Arkansas is to win, I'd like to see a good baseball later on tonight. But going to Springfield, which for a lot of our ESPN 104.3 listening areas and ESPN 99.5 listening area, that's right. It's really close. I mean, it's. I don't even know if I call it a road game. It's more like a neutral site game based on how close it is.
No, it's their home game. I mean, you're playing in their hometown, so I don't know how many Razorback fans will show up, but I think if you listen close, watching the game or listening to Phil, you'll hear some Hog calls there because there's a lot of Hog fans that are in the Springfield area. But and that's a nice ballpark. I have not been to it, just seen it, but it's a good minor league ballpark. So it'll be a comfortable environment for those that go tonight.
And I was going to ask if they still played in that minor league ballpark. I didn't know if they built a new stadium since the whole fiasco in 2015 where they had their minor league team playing and they weren't eligible to play in their ballpark. They had to come to Fayetteville, which I know was really frustrating for them. But yeah, this is what's Springfield from Fayetteville, Tommy? How close is it?
Oh, from Fayetteville, that would, I don't know, 2.5.
Okay, so it's right there.
You just go up and hit I-44 and get over. I mean, it's all interstate, so easy spot to get to.
Yeah.
So.
If you want to jump in on the baseball conversation, feel free, 877-377-6963. Cody Adcock on the mound for the Razorbacks tonight, again, trying to get back on track after getting swept this weekend. You got Texas A&M this weekend in a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. Now, Chuck said he liked the games to be on Sunday. He liked having a game on Sunday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You said you like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
I like
correct?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but I mean, I like the mix of it, that we're not doing the same thing over and over. But I mean, Sunday I was kind of stumbling around looking for, hey, the Hogs aren't on TV.
Watch.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I get where he's coming from too.
And when it's not basketball season, you don't have that rollover. There's really not a lot to watch. I watched a little bit of the softball game on Sunday, the one that Arkansas lost. By the way, softball team won. Courtney Deifel, I hadn't mentioned this yet. Congratulations on your 300th win as the Razorback head coach. Do you call him skipper in softball too? Or is that just a baseball thing?
I think that's a baseball
thing. Okay, well, she wins, again, her 300th career win, 35-13 overall this season. They'll take on the Tennessee Volunteers at home this weekend. That is a Saturday through Monday series, which I thought was kind of interesting. That's the setup for this weekend. First pitch is going to be 4 o'clock on ESPNU. So congratulations to Coach Deifel, again, her 300th career win.
Checking the weather app because we're getting rain across parts of our listening area right now this morning, but Springfield, Missouri tonight, no chance of rain. Temperatures in the low 60s and upper 50s during the game tonight. So weather should be good for this evening for Arkansas and the Missouri State Bears in Springfield. So it should be fun.
I'm glad to hear it.
All right, so we'll have the game for you tonight, 6:30 for the first pitch. Phil will be along with the Dugout Show at 6 o'clock tonight on most of these stations you're listening to right now.
All right, we'll jump back into the field storming conversation. It's our Morning Rush Daily question. Pretty easy. What do you think about it? Should they stop doing it? Should there be heavier fines? Should they go about with the idea that Pat Forty is speaking to, where you do have a loss of a home game the following season? We'll touch on that next. Stay with us. It's the Morning Rush.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Hey everybody, this is Justin Moore, and you're listening to The Morning Rush. Woo pig.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheel.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas.
West of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover.
Fenceman, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fenceman team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fenceman. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. Bet online, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Woods and Irons, along with Cobra Aerojet Woods and Irons. Demos are available. Schedule fitting today. The new Titleist Pro V1s are here. Golf lessons are available. Call the shop and book a time, or just play a round of golf on one of the many courses like Pebble Beach or Bethpage Black. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your number one golf shop since 1994.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Should you still be able to field storm? And should there be heavier fines, heavier penalties? What should happen at the SEC spring meetings coming up next month and into June? Our number is 877-377-6963 if you've got a thought on this. Now, I brought up in hour one. You think about some of the great moments that you've had personally if you were in attendance or just watching on television and seeing it that way. The Auburn win 2 years ago in basketball, beating the #1 team in the country, storming the court after Devo dunked it on Wendell Green. Or the Texas win 2 years ago, which was awesome. You hadn't played them in a while, and you beat the absolute you-know-what out of them. Or years ago, and you beat Tennessee in 99. Those were all great, all significant moments in Razorback history. Not just Arkansas history, but there's several other games. You think about the kick six. You think about Tennessee beating Alabama on a last-second field goal this last year. This is a part of the fiber of college sports. There's a difference between college and professional sports. There's a different sense. Each of you see it, each of you feel it because you're a part of it. And I think this is a part of what college sports is. So I'm still for it, but I'm not against upping the fine or the penalty if it occurs to make it where it's less seldom. It doesn't happen as much.
So how much of that fine are you willing to pay out of your pocket?
None. I pay enough for tickets.
Okay, so you're willing to spend other people's money. But yet you're speaking for the university and all the other schools that, hey, just up the fine, no big deal, because it doesn't cost you anything.
Well, you mean the athletic department that grosses over 100 and something million each year that gets is now going to get 70. What is the new figure going to be? 70 something million,
60s,
upper 60, 70 million for that. You think I'm going to feel sorry for an athletics department?
Well, I mean, you can't talk out both sides of your mouth.
Yeah, sure I can.
No, not and be credible, not and have any credibility on the conversation.
What's
you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, up the fines and just spend the money. Well, how much are you willing to throw in when you get fined? Well, none. Well, I mean, you can't have it both ways. So, are you willing to tack on another $250 to your tickets next year to pay the penalties? What needs to? I mean, if the fans want to say it's our program, and I agree with the philosophy, it's the fans' program. Well, when it's yours and you're the owners of something, you have to pay the good and the bad come along with each other.
I don't think that's necessarily
you can't have it both ways.
I don't think that necessarily correlates all the time. Sometimes, asking the fans to pay more than they already do with cable packages, with ticket sales, with donations and stuff.
It's not going down. It's only going to go up.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. But
so what happens when an opponent, someone on their team, an assistant coach, a support person, a member of the media, is severely injured? God forbid, paralyzed, in a wheelchair, massive lawsuit, tens of millions of dollars. What do you say then? Well, it was sure fun storming that field.
I would say
we deserved it. We hadn't won in a while. That's a big win. We deserved it.
Okay.
What's your defense in court when it inevitably ends up there because you didn't do enough to protect the participants that had a right to be on the field?
I would say to that point, one, we haven't had an issue where that characterization that you're describing has happened yet in terms of our audience, right? So how
like the NFL hasn't had a death on the field. They thought they were very close this past year, and they've done everything in their power for the last decade plus to stop hits to the head.
Okay. This has been going on for decades upon decades, right?
It's more frequent in recent times, field storming.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still been decades upon decades where we've had this occur, right? And there's always a thought, well, what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? And I get it. You brought up a speeding example earlier. There's not cops on every interstate, every inch, every fraction. People can speed all the time, get into wrecks. We see, unfortunately, high collisions. We see some damage. We see that. And the argument I would say is kind of what you brought up earlier. It's like, did you do enough to prevent that said speeding? And someone could ultimately get in a wreck or whatever. And the answer to that is you can't police every inch of the roadways.
Tell me why it's justifiable for fans to storm the field. Tell me why that is okay.
It's justifiable for fans to storm the field. I would say that you think about some of the greatest moments in college sports history and upsets and home and games like that. I don't have a justifiable answer to say it's okay, but
did you win by more because you stormed the field?
No.
Did the win? You get extra credit for the win?
So I think where you're leading to is that fans shouldn't be able to do it.
What I'm just saying, all it does is enhance the memory and further the lore. But it does, fans storming the field. If one fan storms the field, what happens to that one fan? Go to jail, right?
Correct, yeah.
Severely fined, whatever happens. So if 60,000 do it versus one?
It's peer pressure.
Does that make it any more justifiable? I don't think anyone gets upset when a streaker or someone just runs out on the field and they have to pay the price. No one says, boy, they should let him go. He was just having fun.
Yeah.
He was just enjoying the moment. No one really tries to justify that in large mass. So I'm just trying to understand the logic and how we could. It's okay here, but it's not okay there. Again, I'm not a big fan of talking out both sides of your mouth. I'm not a big fan of it's either it is or it isn't. There's not a lot of gray with me on stuff like this. So either it's okay or it's not.
So
because if the defense is, well, no one's got hurt yet, no one's gotten severely injured yet, but we know it's going to happen, so let's just do it until it happens. That's not much of a defense to fall back on.
Okay. So you don't think it should be allowed at any point? And what should
tell me the benefit other than the memories and the pictures and the further in the lore. Past that, because one of the things you brought it up, you never see this at an NFL game. You never see it at an NBA game.
Mm-hmm.
Are those fans less passionate?
Hold up.
Eagles fans less passionate?
Hold up.
No.
You did.
Packers fans less passionate?
You did.
No.
Let's be clear about that. You used to, but they did away with it. There's a difference. So to say that it hadn't it has happened. They just stopped doing it.
When in recent times has it happened?
I don't remember when the NBA and the NFL, but used to. You want to.
So what did they do to stop it?
I don't know.
Okay, but so clearly, whatever policies or culture.
I don't know what the policy is.
To me, there are very few moments that are even worthy of a court or field storming. I think it happens too much because you want the attention on Scott Van Pelton Sports Center. You want those photos hanging everywhere. You want that social media cred for that 24-hour cycle. I think you get caught up in the moment. You're looking for the attention, and I just think there's far too many instances, in the Texas game, and I understand the rivalry, but you beat, number 15, Texas? I mean, is that really worthy of a field storming?
So what should be done? You've presented a number of different logical statements.
Well, I mean, the logical thing is up the fines, but the fines aren't getting anyone's attention. The fines aren't getting the people in charge, the school presidents and the ADs, full and undivided attention. One, because it's not their money. It's not coming out of Hunter Yurichek's pocket or the school president's pocket at any of these universities. So they don't personally feel the fine. Yeah, it stings a little bit when you got to suck that out of the budget somewhere else, that $250,000 or $350,000. It's a graduated scale anymore. Yeah, that stinks. But it's not coming out of their pocket. They're not the owner of the business.
Yeah. Derek's reason.
So what would $1 million do it? Would it take $5 million? The idea of canceling home games, forfeiting wins, I can't get on board with it. How is that fair to the players that had nothing to do with other than winning the game, had nothing to do with court stormings or field stormings?
Derek in Fayetteville says that because we pay a lot of money, that's why we should be able to rejoice after wins. And Sydney says because we should be able to storm the court or the field because of the Chad Morris era.
I mean, not sure what's stopping you from rejoicing where you're at. But, I mean, all of this is just mitigating future liability. That's all they're trying to do. And if you're Alabama and Kentucky who's spearheading this effort, you're tired of it happening to your kids. You're tired of it happening to your coaches. Because I don't know the numbers, but I'm going to guess the vast majority of field stormings in the SEC have occurred when Alabama got beat or Kentucky in basketball got beat.
No question. But do you know what I say to that?
Well, I'm sure it's going to be an unfair statement.
I don't really care what Mitch Barnhart or Greg Byrne or Ross or not Ross, but whatever that Georgia's AD name is. I really don't care what they think, to be quite honest. Just the SEC's, the Kentucky and Alabama have had the SEC in their back pocket for quite some time. So if their ADs are ticked off or sad or whining, I really don't care what they think, to be honest.
All right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge is in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. One person I do want to hear what he thinks is Bruce Stanton with Pradco Fishing. He's our resident Tennessee fan. This is all Tennessee's fault. You understand that, right? This is your school's fault because your president stood there with that cigar and said, we'll pay the fine every year. This is where this has started, right, Bruce?
Might have lost him for a sec. We'll get him back.
All right. That's where this began.
Yeah, again, you presented Pat Forty's article in his piece. He, I think, talked about that as well. And it's not
we'll
just
pay the fine every year.
Yeah, it's not just that. There's that iconic picture of that Tennessee
thumbing
fan.
your nose at Greg Sankey and the rest of the league. That's all you're doing. Middle finger to your policy. I don't care. I'll write the check.
So is the fine going to get up to $500K at the meetings?
Does it matter? Is that going to stop anyone? The first thing you got to do is you got to get these presidents and ADs to quit publicly condoning, and quit publicly accepting fans coming on their quarter field. No matter how they personally feel, they can't. They've got to be in lockstep with the league. We got Bruce back now. All right, Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing, joins us now. Bruce, I say as we bringing you in, Tennessee's at the heart of this count. What are we doing here? Tennessee, Bruce, amateurs. All right, get him back on here. See if we can. I want to get to this because I think I want to get the perspective of someone that comes from a Tennessee. So, what do you do if you're in this league meeting, you're in this committee room? Where should the conversation go?
I think it goes to, like I said, the fine. I don't think that you brought it up earlier with Pat Forty's piece that you got the idea that this is at least being talked about and discussed at the meetings, but you don't think it's actually going to happen.
I think this is all bluster right now. Or at least the idea of home games being forfeited, and Bruce he's out of the country. His cell service apparently is really bad where he's at. He's in South America. So we'll catch up with Bruce next week. He said throw some yum dingers this week. We'll talk about that. And ball baseball isn't dead yet. All right, we'll get to all that. I think this is all bluster. This is all designed. This is all designed right now to get people's attention and get people talking. Because who do you really need to get the attention of?
Fans, right?
Fans. Got to quit doing this, Because ultimately there is going to, I think you even agree, eventually, you keep doing this, eventually someone is going to be severely hurt, that's an innocent bystander that had a place on that field, belonged out there, and then, then what's your defense? Because then the massive lawsuits against the league, both schools, the security, landmark, or whoever's at that university, all of that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You should be able to participate in a sporting event and feel like you're in a safe place out on that field or that court, whether you're coaching or playing or doing your job as a sideline reporter. You shouldn't have to feel like, hey, I need to exit the playing venue at the end of the game to make sure that I don't get trampled.
Would you equate it to a restaurant over-serving a customer or patron, that patron driving off and either hurting themselves or hurting someone else? Who is the responsibility to lie upon? Does it lie on the guy? I'm gonna say guy in this situation. The guy that got housed and decided it was a good idea to still drive after that, or does it lie upon the restaurant for quote unquote over-serving that said customer? Who does the
You got to pick one. It's the person making the choice to behave that way.
Okay, so if you equate that, is it the fans that should get
it's
not
the
school?
Players storming the stands.
Well, I'm saying
it's the other way around.
If we're making the school the restaurant in this situation and the fan the customer, so should the fan, each person that paid for a ticket, should they be levied a certain percentage of what they paid for the ticket? That's what I'm asking.
Well, I don't know that that's practical because the person that bought the ticket from the university isn't necessarily the person that used it.
Good point.
In a world of secondary ticket markets and the way we resell tickets, daily in the sport, weekly for sure. So I don't know I just don't think upping the fines, make it $1 million. All right, we're going to start at $1 million. Like anyone's attention? No. Would $10 million do it? Probably. You'd like to think $1 million would do it, but what does the number have to be? Clearly, a fraction of a percent of your overall budget's not doing it, because that's what you're talking about at $250,000. You're talking about a fraction of a percentage.
Yeah. RP texting in says Ty is the type of player that would storm the field, mouth off to an LSU defensive lineman, and get knocked out by the 300-pound LSU defensive lineman. To be quite honest, I have not spoken to a opposing player in 2014 against LSU, in 2021 against Texas, and then 2022 against Auburn. I just kind of took it in and got some videos for our radio station and whatnot. But those were cool experiences. I agree with you. It's coming to an end. But on the flip side, I would say that these are memories that not just Arkansas fans, but college fans as a whole wholeheartedly will remember the rest of life. And what you said.
No, they're not going to take the memories away.
Yeah, what you said rings true earlier, that the win is still the win, but I also don't think it reaches the height without the storm. Like the kick six, for example. The kick six is still an incredible moment with
such a unique
Davis coming back, but then you got the late Rod Bramlett screaming, "They're not going to keep him off the field tonight." Like that is
they were already coming onto the field when he said those words.
And that's like part of the game, part of the memory, and that's what. I think we
but
lose
when
to
something that
extent.
rare, would you agree that's probably more than once in a generation type play? All right, that's a once every 50-year type moment, right? Well, you're willing to pay the fine at that point. You're willing to deal with the consequence that's extremely steep and severe because that play is so unique and rare. Okay, it happens, but that's the moments that should happen. We've got way too many people coming onto the court of the field because they beat the number 12 team in the country. It's just too common. And that's part of what, A, has brought this conversation up. It's becoming more common, but B, doesn't it lose a little bit of its luster? Kind of like the wave. When everybody started doing it, it was no longer cool,
I don't think the Texas win lost any luster by storming the field, even though, as you presented, it was 15th best team in the country.
So,
I don't think any fan in that stadium that night, I don't think Dylan felt like that game lost luster.
Because we don't know what a championship moment feels like. That's
fair, because you hadn't had one since '64.
We don't know. I mean, just even a division title or a conference title, we don't know. I mean, I was a young teenager the last time they won a conference title.
Thank you, Quinn Grovey. Thank you, sir.
So, I mean,
back to back.
We're so far removed from what really should rise to the level of justifying such action. I just think it happens. It's not Arkansas. It's everywhere. It happens too often.
We got plenty of calls on this. Got about a minute for each of them. Ryan in Hot Springs, you're up first. Go ahead, man.
What's going to be good? I think the reason why there's been such a rise is COVID, and hear me out on that. I think because of the limited not being able to have people there, and then you go into the next year, we get to play Texas, we beat Texas, and a lot of teams felt that way. The one question I was going to bring up was, what about Clemson, though? My understanding is their tradition is after home wins, the crowd gets to come down onto the field.
Yeah,
this is an SEC conversation.
Yeah, there's no fines in the AC. There's no fines in the ACC.
Okay.
Ryan.
My understanding was this was going to be nationwide. My fault on that. I thought this was going to be like a nationwide thing or an NCAA thing. Well, that's all I got. I hope y'all have a great day and go Hogs.
There's really only about two conferences that pack most of their stadiums, and that's the SEC and the Big Ten. The ACC does in places.
In Death Valley and in Clemson,
but not conference-wide. And
Correct.
For the most part, stadiums are 90+% full at every SEC venue.
Yep.
Now, Vanderbilt's may be filled with opposing fans, but it's still full.
That's a good point.
But, I mean, and that's that thus the phrase, it just means more.
We're just going throughout our listening area. Let's go to Robert in Fort Smith. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey, guys, real quick then. Eventually, you're going to get a player that smacks the crap out of somebody.
He had one last year.
For the Alabama and Tennessee. But he didn't catch a charge, I don't think, did he? Because you're going to get an assault charge. And two, I like this thing because eventually you're going to get into the Fayetteville businessman pocket losing the game. That'll stop it because you lose hotels, you lose restaurants on a Saturday, Friday and Saturday. They'll start complaining. Because the donors are going to go to J.B. Hunt, Tyson, Jerry. Oh, fork over that $250,000. It's all good. And they do it because the Tennessee AD said, I'll find it. I'll do it again. I'll pay it again.
Yeah.
So I don't know that money's going to keep. But you start losing Fayetteville businessman money, they're going to start complaining because they need that money, during the season.
They depend on it.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robert.
You're right. I mean, again, the current fines don't mean a damn thing to the people in charge.
Let's do this one more time. 2,500, 250, right?
Oh, I think it's escalated from there. We'll Google it.
$500K.
But I think it's starting in six figures and goes up to $500,000 now because they originally started at that when they put this policy in years and years ago, but they've blown right through those levels. It just doesn't, the fine levels. I don't know if you up the fine levels if now all of a sudden you got people's attention. But one thing they've got to do in Destin is get the presidents and the ADs and the administrators and the policymakers on board that publicly this is never okay. And that's the problem is you got a school president saying, the heck with it. We'll pay the fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
Well, that's sending the entire wrong message, and it's really, giving the middle finger to Greg Sankey in this league.
To your contingency, to your fan base. All right, last call of this segment. Phillips in Bentonville. Phillip, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, I agree with the last caller, but here's a question. How do you not stop them coming down? Because you've got that many people coming down, how are you going to stop them? Because, you're going to get police and security hurt. We're talking about, we don't need to get people hurt. If you try to stop them with that many, you're going to get them hurt anyway.
That's a good point. Phillip, here's the other thing to touch on. We appreciate your call this morning. Now, Fayetteville PD and the other police officers that they have in the stadium, regardless if they're men or women, are in shape, are people that I would not want to tussle with. Landmark, though, The average age of the landmark people they have on are like 50, 60 plus.
Well, they're ushers. They're not security people.
Yes.
They're ushers.
But in these type of situations,
they're your grandparents.
Yes, they are called upon, quote unquote, to stop these things in addition to the cops.
Well, I mean, but there's not enough police to stop 60,000 people.
That's what I'm saying. And to Philip's point, it would be potentially more damaging back and forth if there was a pushback on that.
Well, and but I think we agree. If this continues, there's going to be injuries. There's going to be
there have been
severe. I mean, but it's going to get more severe as we go along. So, all right, we'll get back to more of this fun conversation this morning. Mother's Day weekend is coming up, and I was talking to my friends at Gaston's yesterday. Still a few openings for fishing and some fun for Mother's Day weekend at Gaston's. Call them at 870-431-5202 if you'd like to take Mom on a great weekend. Even if Mom doesn't want to fish, let her relax in the cabin. Let her really enjoy the scenery, read a book, build a fire, or go fishing that weekend. Enjoy some great meals in the restaurant overlooking the White River and just kick back and relax. I think Mom would love a weekend away at Gaston's White River Resort. So call and book yours now for Mother's Day weekend. That's coming up in just a few weeks. 870-431-5202, Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is ESPN college basketball analyst and former Razorback Jimmy Dykes, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Play the Multiplier family of scratch-off tickets and win big with the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. Multiply your winnings 10 times, 20 times, up to 200 times. Ticket prices range from $1 to $20, and top prizes from $5,000 up to $500,000. Arkansas scratch-off players win more than $1 million every day. You could be next. Look for the X to play, scratch, and win. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
M&M Grass-Fed Farms of Rudy says, "Where's the beef?" That's a blast from the past, but it's a real thing at the paint store in Van Buren. Our M&M farm produces certified 100% grass-fed beef, T-bone, New York strip, fajita meat, bones for broth, tenderloin, even beef bacon, and tongue. Our free-range chicken eggs are fresh from the farm. Rudy is your coupon code. Find us and follow us, M&M Farms, inside the paint store in Van Buren.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Hey, Wes.
Hey, it's for horses. Are my ears that long? Don't answer that.
What's the deal with our cheese?
The cheese is from Wisconsin.
Okay, so what? Ain't cheese just cheese?
Billy, I'm from Wisconsin.
Not to be rude, Wes, but who cares?
Wisconsin cows make for better cheese.
Aren't cows just cows? Don't they have cows out in California?
Wisconsin cows are better because of the ice.
Ain't there 4 ice in California?
Ice, not eyes.
The ice is the difference? Do cows skate or something? Do they play hockey too?
Oh, blessed Billy.
How does they put them there skates on them?
Jim's Razorback Pizza uses cheese from ice hockey playing cows from Wisconsin. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is the #1 place to watch every Arkansas baseball game this season. During every Hog baseball game, you'll get $2 domestics at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. For to-go orders, give them a call at 479-783-9941. Find their menu at papaspub.com. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
What's the room again?
1080, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Hey, don't touch that. It's gross.
Here we are. Got the key?
You have them.
Oh, great. It's not working.
Try flipping it over.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Okay.
Why can't we go inside?
Flip it over.
I'm tired. Oh my
that.
gosh.
Give me yours.
Really? You have mine.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
I'm tired. Oh my
Just try
gosh.
this.
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Breeden RV. Highway 64 between Alma and Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Arkansas baseball back in action tonight, 6:30 in Springfield against Missouri State on ESPN Plus and right here on most of these ESPN Arkansas stations and hitthatline.com, trying to get back on track with Cody Adcock on the mound.
You know, you got a short week with the turnaround Thursday for A&M. I don't know how much confidence you come out of this tonight if you win. I mean, I think we'll probably overreact if you lose, but it'd be nice to see you kind of regain your footing and your balance a little bit tonight. I think they flushed last week, but, you know, you'd kind of like some affirmation. I think that's what a win tonight would give you. Yeah, that's behind them now. And, you know, we'll see how they respond tonight, but obviously we're rooting for a win. You said earlier you just want to see a competitive game. I'd kind of like to see them.
Yeah, smack them around a little bit.
Yeah, just wear them out. I think that's what you need. And more importantly, you know, win the game like 12-2. Don't give up any home runs. I think that to me is where the mental block is, for me at least, as a fan watching, is you're scared to death of giving up home runs right now. That's what I'd like to see tonight, is even against a team like Missouri State, you're not giving up a lot of deep balls.
Mac didn't have his best outing in game number 2. Oop. Hopefully he has a stronger showing against the Aggies this weekend. He'll bounce back a little bit. Now, you joked about how Arkansas in the RPI went from 6 and then back to 5 after 3 straight losses. You only
started at 5 going into the weekend, lost 3, stayed at 5.
Yeah, you only dropped a couple spots in the D1 baseball poll. You're at number 7 right now, so it's not like you've fallen from graces there either.
But a lot of other top teams in the RPI lost, so that it didn't leave a lot of room for a lot of movement because you had so much, had so many losses inside the top 10.
Yes, and sweeps as well. Softball team, Courtney Deifel gets her 300th career win. They beat the Hilltoppers last night of Western Kentucky 7-0. They'll take on the Tennessee Volunteers, a top 15 matchup at Bogle Park this weekend, Saturday through Monday. What's the rationale? You know the rationale?
TV. So they get. I think they put a Monday. I don't know if this one is, but I think they do get some of those softball games on TV. And I mean, because you got to work baseball and softball around to try to get some TV opportunities for everybody. But I don't think I know I don't. Do we fully appreciate what we're watching here with Courtney Deifel? 300 wins. We have not seen very many, true buildings of programs, and that's exactly what she's doing. She took absolutely nothing. It wasn't even clay. She had to go mine the clay out of the dirt to mold what she has here in her hands, and I don't think we fully appreciate 300 wins is a great milestone. I don't think we, as fans, because I never watched softball, don't watch probably enough now, but I watch more now than I've ever watched before because it's available, number one. But number two, they're winning. I don't think we fully appreciate what's going on there in the job she's done to build something out of nothing.
Last thing here in your Hog Update, I was looking at season tickets yesterday. There are North End Zone wise, they're completely sold out. There's still plenty of South End Zone seats. There's still some Broyles Matthew seats available on both sides of center field, depending, I say center field, but 40s and whatever. But there are season tickets still available if that's something you want to pursue as an Arkansas fan.
Yeah, and there was some lower level places with multiple seats. A lot of times you get to this point, there's only a single seat left, or there was a lot of opportunity in the lower level still with multiple seats available.
Yeah, so there were on that. That is going to do it for your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Eric's in Springdale this morning. Eric, what's going on, my man?
Hey, good morning, guys. The thing that concerns me the most about this field storming thing is I'm glad that it's being brought up and being made a topic and that they're thinking about, raising the fines and everything. But my concern is, what do you do about these people that are just persistently a buck the system? I'll do what I want to. Raise the fine to $10 million. It doesn't matter. I'll show you, kind of a going against the man kind of person. What do you do about that person that the fact this is being brought up more just invigorates them to want to do it even more? And I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks, Eric. Well, if it's just a handful of people, if that's that one person that feels like, I'm going to ignore everything and just do it, they're going to get arrested, they're going to get thrown in jail, and you said fines involved,
well, I mean,
right?
If we're talking about the fine to the school, I don't think the average fan cares because it's not coming out of their pocket. Now, if the city of Fayetteville or the state of Arkansas and, you got, the SEC's powerful enough to get all the states in the conference to maybe pass some form of state legislation that had a minimum fine for coming out on the field in a situation like this. I mean, I'm not in favor of more laws and more fines for people. I think we just got to get where this is out of our culture. And I think part of the problem at Arkansas is we're never on the other side of it. We don't even envision or imagine a world where someone would beat the Razorbacks, specifically in football, and they're going to storm the court. I mean, we never think about it from the other side of it, that we're the team that got beaten, people ran. That's really where you want to be. You want to be so good that people storm the court when they beat you.
Yeah.
And we're so many universes away from that in football, we don't even think about it that way. Basketball, maybe it would get back to that, at some point. But, and they just don't do this. It's just not part of the baseball culture. It's not what you do. But, I think we fail to look at it from the other point because heck with Alabama and Kentucky, But that's really who gets the short end of the stick over and over and over and over. And I think we all know we're logical and we just stop and think about it. Somebody is going to get severely injured at some point if we keep doing this. And the league has an obligation to make the playing field or court a safe place for participants.
Well, I think what you just said will only hit home to Razorback fans if it happens to one of us. And by one of us, I mean an Arkansas fan, an Arkansas player, or someone that's involved with the program.
Yeah, can you imagine being number one in the country next year in basketball? And you go, I don't know, pick a school in the SEC, Starkville. I don't know, you go to Mississippi State, and they storm the court, and Trevin Brazell, or if Jordan Walsh comes, I pick a player, gets injured, is going to miss 3 or 4 weeks or the rest of the year because the fans storming the court knocked him down and something happened to their shoulder, elbow, knee, whatever,
Yeah.
you would be incensed.
Well, at that point, I'll call Greg and say we need to get something done. But until
$100 million fine.
And until that point, I'm going to enjoy the court storm because how you just said you're not going to convince most. Actually, I'd actually be curious what the split is on this because most Arkansas fans, you aren't going to present them with the idea, well, it's going to happen to us because it hasn't, because there hasn't been that moment in Starkville, or there hasn't been that moment in baseball because it didn't happen in baseball, and your football program's not good enough for you to get court storm or field storm. So convincing Arkansas fans of this, I think, is more difficult than other fan bases.
I think the only way you can stop it is you got to start with the student body, and what you have to do, you got to bring the team to the students instead of the students to the field. I think that's the home team. You rush over to the student body. That's what you got to do.
The Kentucky win 2 years ago. Hunter's like, yeah, we can't storm.
Right.
We've already done that, and the players immediately went to
Right.
the student section, and it stopped it.
Hey, celebrate Cinco de Mayo for 2 straight days at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. May 5th for Cinco de Mayo, and also the following day, Saturday, May 6th. $1 crispy tacos all day long. Margarita and beer specials, live music both days. Saturday, they're going to have basically a family festival or a carnival with face painting and bounce arounds, cornhole, a photo booth, and a taco eating contest. There you go, Ty. You can go get in the taco eating contest. It's Cinco de Mayo for 2 days at Joe's Grill and Cantina on 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Get Tom Murphy's thoughts on this coming up.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas. In-office or telemedicine visits available to schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical providers for safe and effective weight loss while also reducing cardiovascular risk factors. Call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
It's the spring sale event at WT Equipment. Save up to $350 on Hustler Turf Raptor Series mowers and up to $750 on select Toro Zero Turn mowers. WT Equipment is one of the largest Hustler dealers in the country with a huge selection in stock. Buy what the pros buy, where the pros buy. Save big or get 0% for 48 months on participating equipment with approved credit. Whether you are upgrading your fleet or looking for the best cut on the cul-de-sac, don't miss the spring sale event at WT Equipment. For more information, visit your local WT dealer or online at WTpromos.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection. 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Wrath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke mile service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Wrath. Wrath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
The Golf Nut has everything you need to make 2023 the best year ever. In stock now, Callaway Paradigm Woods and Irons, along with Cobra Aerojet Woods and Irons. Demos are available. Schedule a fitting today. The new Titleist Pro V1s are here. Golf lessons are available. Call the shop and book a time, or just play a round of golf on one of the many courses like Pebble Beach or Bethpage Black. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Springtime is around the corner, and tax rebates are here, and River Valley Truck Outfitters is ready to help you get your vehicle looking good. Window tints, bed covers, and more. Steps from Power Step to black and chrome lifts and level kits. River Valley Truck Outfitters will get your vehicle looking good on Highway 71 at the top of Rye Hill, where you can get your special wheels, tires, and more. Your #1 stop truck accessory store, 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny, a chance of showers, a few thunderstorms are high this afternoon into the upper 50s. We'll see wet and stormy weather tonight, and overnight low, mid to upper 40s, and then showers with a chance of thunderstorms on Wednesday are high, upper 50s to lower 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Please stay off the field. I love it. The announcer said, please stay off the field. There's got to be 60,000 on the field. And the goalpost has no chance. No chance. When they rebuild the stadium, they're going to have to put up new goalposts because they're coming down.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
And welcome in to hour number 3 of the Morning Rush. Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports is going to join us. The majority of our conversation has predicated on what you just heard. 99, you stormed the field against Tennessee. SEC, according to Sports Illustrated's Pat Forty, is contemplating not just up in the fines, but up in the punishments. Forfeiture of home games and possible forfeiture of the wins. Now, he doesn't speculate that that's actually going to happen, the latter, but there is a possibility that you lose a home game. So think about having to go play Alabama back-to-back-to-back years in Tuscaloosa. Wouldn't be fun. You want to split that, one in Fayetteville. We'll talk about that coming up with Tom and some baseball as well.
Hey, if you need some help losing weight, call my friends at Vici Aesthetics and Wellness, 479-343-8424. You can call or text that number to schedule a consultation and get started. They can even do telemedicine, which means if you live, and I know we got a good audience in Northeast Arkansas and Jonesboro, Little Rock, Southwest Arkansas. It's just too far for you to travel. No issues there. They'll do a telemedicine visit, get you started, and then they can ship the product to you so that you can find a new way to lose weight. This is a weight loss game changer. 12 weeks, I'm down 21 pounds. And if you're struggling to lose weight, you got high blood sugar, maybe high blood pressure, and everything you do doesn't seem to work, or just sticking to a diet for 12 weeks or 15 weeks is just more than you can do by itself and lose the weight. Get some help with Vici Aesthetics and Wellness. Semaglutide, and ask your doctor about it. It's a weight loss game changer. It's the number one way people are losing weight today in the United States, and we've got a problem in our country. We all know it. Over 72 million people in the United States have some kind of form of obesity or have a weight loss problem that they need to get under control. So if you need help with losing weight, Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is there for you. They've been there for me. 479-343-8424. Again, you can call or text that number. One more time, 479-343-8424. Semaglutide, the weight loss game changer from Vici Aesthetics and Wellness.
Baseball back in action tonight. That'll be something we touch on with our friend Tom as we welcome into the program now. But first, Tom, I know you probably saw the report that Pat 40 released yesterday. It's going to be talked about at the spring meetings. What do you think about the potential possibilities and the upping of punishments involving field stormings within this league?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I did see that, and my thought is that losing a home game is, first of all, forfeiture is just, I think that should be off the table.
Yeah, that's a non-starter.
That's non-starter. And also losing a home game, that is really, really drastic. So I would like to think, that you know how it is when you propose something that's so outrageous and then you work the compromise that is doable. Maybe that's kind of what the thought is here. Put the scare into ADs and, facility management teams that this has got to stop. And I do think that the fines probably should go, way up because it hasn't impeded. Here's what happened. Alabama created a dynasty, and now when people beat them, it's such a euphoric moment that you had the thing at A&M, and I think there was another venue recently. But it seemed like to me that Nick Saban and his police cortege knocked over a girl or somebody, and then a guy at Bama hit somebody, not hit, but bumped into. It's created some unfortunate deals, that could result in legal maneuvering, and nobody wants that. So a buddy of mine who Craig Stevenson down in South Alabama, who's with my old outfit, the Mobile Register, AL.com crew, his response to Pat 40 yesterday I thought was interesting, was that MLB and I think the NFL have really done away with crowd storming. And I saw a recent post of Chris Chambliss' home run in '76 that beat the Royals or somebody to win the ALCS, and Yankee Stadium got overrun. And Chris Chambliss is bowling over people. I don't know if y'all have ever seen this clip, but it's just kind of unsightly that they got in between him, third base, and home, and you don't want that. And so MLB and NFL have, to a large extent, done away with crowd stormings, and if it can be done in those venues, then it should be able to be done in college venues. And I think maybe just this – the SEC has always been a leader at, various – topics in the game, and I think with the threat of super big punishment that might be compromised to something different, the fan bases will understand, this is not a good move. I mean, it could result in too many different outcomes that you don't want to see. So I'm sure there will be some type of resolution in the spring meetings, and it's going to be a different deal moving forward.
And this is really about Alabama football and Kentucky basketball, and those are the ones that, like you said, and Texas could join that list at some point if they're really good again, because Texas has got that national brand. But this feels a lot like Dad walking in when you're roughhousing with your brothers, and he's got the belt off, and he's kind of wagging it at you. He's not ready to use it yet, but if you don't straighten up, I'm coming back in here with this belt. And this is what it feels like is, hey, we got to come up with some resolutions. And the last thing you can have is the Tennessee president smoking the victory cigar after beating Alabama saying, we'll just pay the fine every year. That's thumbing your nose. That's like saying, well, bring it on, Dad. You think you're big enough? Come on in here with that belt. That's pretty much what's going on here when the school president at Tennessee is saying, we'll just pay the fine. The money's gotten so ridiculous in this league, Tom, that $500,000 fine just doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, you know what? That probably was the spark. That was the facilitator. And, of course, the A&M deal happened before, and so you already had Alabama officials complaining about their security. I mean, literally bad things can happen. Nick Saban is not young anymore, and he could get knocked down or injured or something like that if somebody rushes versus Bama. And then I think to the different topic, I think back to the Arkansas field rushings, LSU football game 2014, Texas game a few years ago. Could those have been stopped? Man, I don't know, but Arkansas is at the max on the fine paying. And I think Hunter Yurachek even, had a comment about the fine. Mm-hmm. And so this is the warning from Greg Sankey to everybody at these colleges, presidents on down. We're gonna stop this, and I think it's probably about time that happened.
Well, you got really smart people. Greg Sankey's a lawyer in his background, but has been in college athletics his entire career. But this is also about when the worst happens. And I think we all know if you don't do something about it, someone is going to get severely injured, or you hope not worse than that, but it does happen from time to time, and particularly in soccer internationally. What's your defense in court? If you have no policy, if you have no teeth to the policy you have, if you're not addressing the issue, how do you ever defend yourself if the worst ever happens? So I think a lot of this conversation that may happen in Destin and these policies they want to make more public is as much about positioning yourself that, hey, we've tried, but there's only so much you can do, Tom, when 30 or 40,000 people are going one direction and you got a bunch of landmark security and a limited number of police personnel to stop them.
Exactly. So the liability issue raises its head, and we've seen crowd tramplings. I remember a Who concert years and years ago, well before you were born, Ty. You can Google it. A bunch of people got killed at a Who concert. There's been tramplings in religious deals. So it can happen, and this is a good way before very, very serious injury and lawsuits. And I'm not sure if any lawsuits have arisen out of the previous ones, but yeah, I'm with you on that, Tom.
Yeah, but if your family member was the one that lost their life and got trampled, and they were a player. Now, if you enter the court or the field yourself, I don't think you have a right to sue anybody if you put yourself down there. But if you're the opposing player, you're a referee, you're a media member, you're a security person, you have a duty or a right on that field. That's your job. I think the league and that institution has a right and an obligation to protect you and make sure that situation and that environment is safe. And if you don't feel that way, then I can't even have a conversation with you about it.
Perfectly spoken, Tommy. And I'm really glad the SEC is trying to get out in front and kind of be a leader on this. And I'm not sure if even some other conferences have the policy. So This is a good way to kind of be a pioneer once again.
I mean, we're all three media members. We cover games. I mean, it's not uncommon, a little less common today, but it's not uncommon that we've been down on the field in the last 5 minutes, right? Because you go to the visiting locker room or the home locker room, whatever your assignment is following the game. Imagine being on the field, one of us three or all of us three in that situation. I mean, it would. I promise you, it would have you a little more than concerned.
Exactly. You could get trampled. Your laptop could get knocked out of your hands and broken. I'll give you an example.
Sound like you speak from experience.
Well, I'll give you an example. When I covered Alabama, they played at Charlotte one year, and it was a good Charlotte team, and they had a great game. This is probably early 2000s, and the media row was still on courtside, and Charlotte almost won the game in regulation. And it turns out the student section was right behind us. And the game went double overtime. But in one of either regulation or the first overtime, Charlotte was on the brink of winning. And students, you could tell, were about ready to jump over press row. Like they had come up to press row. They were right behind us. And if Charlotte had won the game, I don't doubt that they would have come right over press row. There wasn't enough security to handle it. But thankfully, Alabama came back and won it. And that we did not have to deal with that, but it was a close run thing, as they say.
Talking with Tom Murphy, the Arkansas Democrat Gazette and Whole Hog Sports. Tom, shifting the conversation to baseball, you got Missouri State tonight. We know this has been a tightly contested battle when the two teams have played in the last couple decades. What do you think about Arkansas's chances still being a national seed with all the injuries they've suffered and the timelines on those?
Well, I think it's a decent shot. I think it may be hovering around the 50-50 mark, but you do worry that they're still going to be without Wagner for several games. We don't know how long they're going to be without Josenberger. You're hopeful that Brady Tiger comes back and you start solving your pitching situation. But it doesn't look that they're trending in the wrong direction for that. Even though a lot of other teams in the top 10 lost games or were swept last weekend, including Vanderbilt. And so it just goes to show you can have a really bad weekend. And Arkansas was in two of the games. I mean, two of them were one-run games. They should have won the last game, obviously. That might be the most heartbreaking regular season loss I've seen Arkansas baseball have on Saturday. But it's going to be a tight deal. They're going to have to win most of their remaining series, I think, to do that and not flame out like they did. At the end of last season when they lost the home series to Bama or Vandy, the road series to Bama, and then went 0-2 in the tournament. And they were in position to host before that, so you don't want to finish that way.
Yeah.
What is the expectation when Brady Tiger comes back, do you think, from fans? I know coaching staff and the players, they get to see him every day. What does the fan take when Brady comes back and his expectations?
It's probably that no outing goes more than, 30 pitches or just something. Do you put him in a 4-3 game in the ninth inning in his first deal? Well, if his arm is completely healthy, that's what his mentality is as a closer. So I do think you just don't overextend him. Maybe you don't use him twice on weekends. So you strategically, whatever his pitch limit is on a weekend, if it's 35 or whatever, you just strategically place those. And we know Dave Van Horn well enough to know if it takes Hunter Holland followed by somebody followed by Tiger, they'll do that. But I think what you're hoping for if you're Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs is it frees up Hagen Smith to be your other starter. Because you saw his comments from Saturday that, people have complained, why do you use Hagen Smith to complete a game? Well, it's the importance of winning a game on a series. And they didn't have somebody to follow Hagen Smith up in the Saturday game that was going to just shut the door on Georgia, and they ended up giving a bunch of runs up late.
All right. Now, follow me on this. Tennessee comes into Fayetteville. They get swept, get thumped in 3. Then they go to Vandy and turn the tables. Seemingly what happened in Fayetteville became a positive for them. Arkansas goes to Georgia. Lots of injuries, and Arkansas is having to go deeper into their bench and get another injury with Josenberger. Tell me, or I'm trying to figure out in my mind, Tom, and can what happened last weekend, even with the injuries, somehow be turned and flipped into a positive for this team with 4 weekends left? How can you make something of what happened last weekend moving forward the way Tennessee did at Vanderbilt?
Well, baseball is such a day-to-day, game-to-game
Right.
deal that, if you win tonight, okay, then you got some positive momentum going into the A&M series. And by the way, A&M, I think, has won 4 series in a row. So, they're hot. So if you beat them, then you've taken out a hot team. And then you go on from there. I mean, you still got Mississippi State left, which is struggling this year. And then you've got the really tough series remaining against South Carolina and Vanderbilt. So it's not going to be easy for the Razorbacks. But I do believe they've got to get more clutch hitting from the guys who are there. And, it's been nice that Ben McLaughlin has started hitting, and he's a guy who looks like his bat deserves to be in the lineup. But then you still have the catcher and the shortstop conundrum, offense versus defense with Bolton and Cole, and then whether or not Parker Rowland is going to be healthy enough to get back in, even though you saw a good game from Polk, a home run and another RBI on Saturday. So it's just the hitting is contagious thing. Get more guys. You got to get Stovall going. Slavens has got to have better at bats and productive at bats. And and then hopefully that you bring a healthy Wagner back and a healthy Josenberger back, and you're building towards, a better climax at the end of your season.
Yeah, because you're right in position not only to be a host for a regional, but a top 8 national seed. Your RPI's at 5. The good thing is, Tom, there's a lot to play for with 4 regular season weekends to go.
There's a ton left, and it's one of these where you've got a veteran coach who's historically done the right things, made the right moves. He's got a veteran staff. They're going to put these guys in the best positions. It's a matter of executing at crunch time, executing when the bases are loaded, things like that, playing good defense. And the historic data tells us that type of good thing will happen to these Razorbacks. But you do want to be at fuller strength going down the stretch.
And it looks like there's a good chance that you'll get some of these guys back. Hope to get a good report on Parker Rowland soon in the back injury he's got. Tom, good stuff. We'll chat Thursday and get ready for the start of the A&M series.
All right. I like it. See it.
Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us here on the Morning Rush. It's brought to you by Mosquito Joe. They've been making outside fun again for more than 10 years right here in Arkansas. If you haven't tried them, there's no reason to wait. And particularly if you've got a restaurant with a bar and patio area outside, maybe around your pool or outdoor kitchen at home or a boat dock or even a horse barn, if you have constant battles and struggles with the mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas, they have a new 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week system, their new misting system with Mosquito Joe that's like having a technician there round the clock. It's great for all these areas like pools and patios and even outdoor kitchens and bar and restaurant patios as well. Call Mosquito Joe. Tell him you heard it here on the Morning Rush on ESPN Arkansas and get a special discount on a custom program or repellent system. And for a misting system, when you tell them you heard it right here, they'll take $200 off. So if you want to rid yourself of the battle with mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas, and particularly those pesky mosquitoes this summer, it's time to call Mosquito Joe. Here's the number, 479-202-9960. That's 202-9960, or go to arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
Today is National Plumbers Day and also National School Bus Driver Day, so give it a choice.
Choose your character.
If you had to change job, would you be a plumber or a school bus driver?
Oh, a plumber.
Plumber?
You hired a plumber lately? Plumbers make good money.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a plumber.
I think the having to deal with kids on a daily basis that are not your own. I feel like parents, they have a much longer leash and a much longer patience tolerance for kids that they're own because it's their own kin or whatever. But when it's other kids, like, did you see the video of the passengers on the airplane with the crying kids? I know there seems to be one.
I did. He kind of lost his cheese slid off his cracker, didn't it?
He lost his cool a little bit, which I think at some point in time, a good chunk of us have all been on a plane when there's been a crying kid, and it's not fun. It's not pleasant whatsoever, but I will say I don't think I've ever cussed out that said parent for that's something they really can't help.
3 things you got to know to be a plumber. 3 main things.
Okay.
Poop don't run uphill.
Okay.
Payday's Friday. And don't bite your fingernails.
Yeah.
You know those 3 things, you got a good start on being a plumber. Hey, brought to you by World of Wireless. Right now, they've got a free weekend every weekend this month. So we got one more chance here at the end of April to get free installation, free equipment, and also get the voice-activated remotes and movie channels all thrown in for free. But here's the real deal this month. A 3-year price lock. Inflation's eating all of us alive. So anytime you can sign up for something that starts at less than $80 a month, and they're going to lock the price for 3 years, even though your commitment's only 2, I think you got to look at it. So if you've cut the cord, you're not happy, the cost of YouTube and Hulu and all that stuff has went up, way more than you expected, make the move to Dish, starting at $80 a month, under $80 a month, and get a 3-year price commitment from Dish. Be installed before this weekend. Call 877-305-DISH. It's 877-305-3474.
Who taught you that about the plumbers? That dad thing they taught you about back in the day?
That was one of my dad's favorite jokes.
Okay. I have not heard that before.
I'd heard he told that joke a bunch of times.
Learn something new every day. When we return, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and the big trade that went down between the New York Jets and the Green Bay Packers. We're going to hear from Adam Schefter when he broke it down live on NFL Live yesterday.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
If you're the head coach, you'd want to have the fan base at Arkansas every Saturday in the stand.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing.
Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheel.
Operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
What's the room again?
1080, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Hey, don't touch that. It's gross.
Here we are. Got the key?
You have them.
Oh, great. It's not working.
Try flipping it over.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Okay.
Why can't we go inside?
Flip it over.
I'm tired. Oh my gosh.
Give me yours.
Really? You have mine.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
I'm tired. Oh my gosh.
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Breeden RV. Highway 64 between Alma and Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
trying to talk to the morning rush. Much more important than my real job.
The first one to Josenberger. Bounces. Scooped out in front, and here comes Slavins. He scores, and it's 6-3.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Back here on the Morning Rush, going to talk about Aaron Rodgers coming up shortly as he has been traded to the New York Jets. One of the biggest blockbuster trades the last couple of years, the impact it has on the AFC and the NFC. Speaking of impact, this guy always has impact at the end of the month. That is Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources. Larry, next week or so, people can take advantage of you by stopping by in Fort Smith and Springdale.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just actually a few days here, Ty. I mean, we're running out a month really, really fast, and it really is always important to us that we, hit our numbers, and we'd like to have a lot of fun with what we do, and so that's a real thing, and we still got cars to sell, folks. We would love a chance to earn your business at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale, and we've got the cars and the staff and the financing to really get that done, and we've got that great service after the sale in the Meineke Car Care Center, which is really our secret weapon. That's what nobody else can offer, and it really does make all the difference in how we get our cars ready, how we take care of our customers after the sale. And we hope that you'll give us a chance to earn your business. And folks, you don't have to be buying a car. It doesn't matter what's going on. If it's got something to do with the car, if it's automotive in nature, we're your friend in the business. Give us a call and let us try to help. That's what we love to do. And, we can buy your car. We can help you sell your car, even help you price that car out. We can obviously sell you a car, and that's a lot of fun. We'd like to do that. We can help you repair a car. It doesn't matter. If you've got a question on your mind, if it's automotive, we have the resources, the expertise, the experience to help, and we'd love to help you. And it really is a better way for us to do business. It's a better way for our customers. It's what's made us Arkansas's #1 used car dealer for years and years, favorite used car dealer in Arkansas. And you could have part of that as well. It's really as simple as getting in touch with one of our guys and letting them help you with whatever it is you're trying to do. So we call it Rolling with Rath. It's a lot of fun. We'd like a chance to do that with you as well. Plus, we got this big contest going on, the Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Follow us on Facebook. Check that out. It's fun and it's free. All you got to do is get entered, and that's going to be ending right here at the end of the month as well. So, folks, if you hadn't registered for that, we're giving away a set of tires and a 90-mile prepaid maintenance card. Take care of all your maintenance for a couple of years. So that's a lot of fun as well. So lots of good things going on, folks. We hope you'll come and see us. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, enjoy the day, and we'll talk to you later this week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
I know we got a lot of Kansas City Chiefs fans listening. How about the idea of a Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers playoff battle in Arrowhead? I think it's appealing, and I think it's possible. Now the AFC, which already had the quarterback advantage, just upped it even more, getting Aaron Rodgers as he is a New York Jet as of yesterday. Here's Adam Schefter when it went down.
Breaking news. Aaron Rodgers officially is being traded to the New York Jets. And it just came down moments ago in a trade involving 6 picks. Aaron Rodgers is going to the New York Jets. It's official. It is happening, finally, after all this time.
A lot of talk about it leading up to this point, but as of Monday, April the 24th, Rodgers is playing the AFC instead of the NFC.
That timing not surprising considering, draft is this week. You want to, if you're the Jets and the Packers, you want to know where you stand for the draft selections and when would they be most valuable this week. So the timing of this, not surprising at all. We're, I guess now 48 hours out or whatever tonight, but draft coming up on Thursday. So, who got the better end of this deal? A lot believe it's the Packers because the Jets gave up a lot for a 39-year-old quarterback.
Go, Pack, go. Now, it's going to be rough this season. Packers are going to finish, I'd guess, dead last in the NFC North behind the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions. But hopefully in the long run, this will pay off for that franchise. Still want to get to Lambeau at some point in time. I've got buddies. I know we've joked with Bob Holt on halftime about him having technically a partial ownership with the Packers, but that is a venue that is just so historical in nature, and talking with Brett Good about it, it's a place I really want to go at some point.
Any NFL fan, that's a bucket list venue. I mean, a unique deal. It's a town of what, about 100,000 in Green Bay. It's not a huge market by any stretch. So that's a place everyone wants to go.
Yeah. So on the subject of Aaron Rodgers, again, now a New York Jet, it throws a wrinkle in a lot of different things. I mentioned the Kansas City Chiefs and Jets possible playoff matchup. You've got a great dynamic with Josh Allen and Rodgers now both playing in the AFC East. You've also got the NFC teams that are like, well, we don't have to worry about Aaron Rodgers in our league. Now, you might play him one time a season, but at least you don't have to worry about in the conference playoffs or anything like that. So this is going to be a fun NFL year. Burrow, Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen, all in that didn't include Justin Herbert and some of the other quarterbacks that you like in the AFC. This is going to be a fun NFL season, and I cannot wait to see how it plays out this year. And for a Cowboys fan, I think you're happy at the result. You don't have to see Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs.
Good point.
Unless you somehow make it to the Super Bowl.
So how far can he take the Jets? Considering the AFC and the state of it, the quarterbacks, you just laid it out there. Mm-hmm. How far can the Jets go with their new future Hall of Fame, 39-year-old quarterback?
Well, they got an offensive rookie of the year, Garrett Wilson, who played wide receiver at Ohio State. Breece Hall, who got injured last year, played running back at Iowa State. Also got a couple other outstanding skill position players that they're excited about. On the defensive side of the football, I think Quentin Williams, former Alabama Crimson Tide member, is still on that team. So this team's got a good skill players and good pieces. Now they're hoping that Aaron Rodgers is the final piece of the puzzle. To your question, I think he can get into a Super Bowl. I don't know if it's in year one, but I think he can. I think he can take him there.
Well, how many more years does he have? You say not in year one.
Probably
this can't be a 4 or 5 year project. That's for sure.
3 or 4 max.
We know. I say we know. I don't guess we know anything, but I would presume he's not going to do what Tom Brady did. He's not going to play into his mid-40s.
Aaron's a weird duck, man.
Well,
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know what he's gonna do. He's a great football player, and New York is a perfect landing spot for him.
Hey, if you're involved in a divorce or a custody case, you need an attorney who not only has the experience in the matter, but can guide you through the process, but has seen every kind of scenario, and one that you trust to return your calls, return your emails, return your phone calls when you need to have a conversation with them. That's the Hickey and Hall Law Partners. They've got over 7 decades of combined experience, having seen and heard nearly every scenario. And boy, don't you know they see and hear a lot, dealing with divorce and family law a lot. Then they'll go to work for you, the client, to get the best result possible for you. Visit them at kevinhickeylaw.com or call 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414, or again, kevinhickeylaw.com. kevinhickeylaw.com. Kevin Hickey Law and the Hickey and Hall Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
SEC update when we return. We'll wrap up Tuesday's show.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Razorback and Super Bowl champion Brett Good, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It's the spring sale event at WT Equipment. Save up to $350 on Hustler Turf Raptor Series mowers and up to $750 on select Toro Zero Turn mowers. WT Equipment is one of the largest Hustler dealers in the country with a huge selection in stock. Buy what the pros buy, where the pros buy. Save big or get 0% for 48 months on participating equipment with approved credit. Whether you are upgrading your fleet or looking for the best cut on the cul-de-sac, don't miss the spring sale event at WT Equipment. For more information, visit your local WT dealer or online at WTpromos.com.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas. In-office or telemedicine visits available to schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical providers for safe and effective weight loss while also reducing cardiovascular risk factors. Call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Rath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke Mile Service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing, the SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
So 2 straight SEC quarterbacks could be drafted this Thursday. Bryce Young is going to be drafted, I think, number 1 overall. But Will Levis now has apparently moved in the odds to be drafted 2nd overall. Now, I'm not high on the Kentucky quarterback. I think he's going to be a bust. I hope he's not. I hope he has a successful NFL career. But, man, you might have, Tommy, back-to-back SEC quarterbacks drafted 1 and 2 this Thursday.
And Anthony Richardson also, like, 4th on the draft board. I think that's where Kuiper had him mocked.
Yeah,
so
I don't understand that.
Like 3 of the top 4 or 4 of the top 5 are SEC quarterbacks. So I think you're going to have a lot of SEC guys called when they're drafting quarterbacks, which will likely be in the first round. And Bryce Young, no one really thought he was a number 1 overall pick, but good chance he will be.
I don't understand the Will Levis and Anthony Richardson love. I just don't get it. I get the size and stature. Bryce is a better quarterback than those two by a country mile. And yes,
well, he's going to go ahead of them too.
But even I don't get it. I don't get the Richardson love, and I don't get the Levis love. And I think whatever teams end up drafting those guys are not going to get the quarterback that they're hoping for or expect. I don't get it. What do you think about those? Do you think Richardson and Levis are going to do anything in the National Football League?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, people that are paid a lot of money to figure this stuff out, certainly have them up there. But I'm still amazed how you take quarterbacks from smaller conferences, smaller schools, and those things, you look at a Josh Allen. I mean, Mahomes came from Texas Tech, but I mean, you look at kind of the stars of the game right now and the top quarterbacks. They didn't all come from big, high-powered SEC schools or Big Ten schools. I think that's an interesting study in the NFL of kind of the upbringing of these guys in the development. It tells me you're 21, 22, whatever. You're not through developing, so they see something in their run. They got a lot of runway left, a lot of ceiling ahead of them. Is what somebody really likes.
Someone would love to find the Josh Allen of this year's draft. Some people have compared Will Levis to Allen, who, if you remember, was not great in year one, slowly progressed into the quarterback that he is today. And now we'll just see what Levis ends up being in the National Football League. SEC has talked about moving up the punishment, not just in terms of fines, but loss of home game, and then the severe would be the forfeiture of the game itself, which Tommy and me don't think is going to happen. No. That will take place. There will probably be the announcement following the SEC spring meetings, which is the end of May through the beginning of June. So we'll get some more clarification on what the SEC is going to do when it comes to field storming and court storming. It's more forward in about a month or so.
My prediction is they're going to have a lot of meetings, and this will be a very talked about topic. There will probably be something far more important voted on at the SEC meetings, but this will be the thing that draws a lot of attention. In the end, my prediction is they'll talk about all this stuff, and they're just going to up the fines. In the end, what else can you really do? And they're not taking home games away. They're not going to punish the local economies and the hotel and restaurant operators and ultimately the kids and the coaches. On next year's team, is it fair to say, all right, we're taking your home game away for, which there's a long history of NCAA punishments that punish the wrong people, but forfeitures and home games being lost, that's not going to go very far.
Nope, I don't think so either. Last thing, Alabama basketball transfer who had committed, Jaquan Walton, was arrested this past Saturday when Tuscaloosa police found him and two others in a vehicle with marijuana and multiple guns. And Oates stated that they are no longer recruiting Jaquan Walton and will not be a student-athlete at the University of Alabama. I think that's via the Tuscaloosa News. So
what's going on there?
Alabama
he was
basketball,
just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Apparently Alabama basketball is just one in the headlines once again for the wrong reasons, but it doesn't look like Walton will be making it to campus in Tuscaloosa.
Well, and Oates trying to get out in front of this. So I mean, it certainly makes him and his program look even shadier, even more problematic, whatever adjective you want to throw on it. Even though this was someone that never got on campus, never spent a day really other than as a commit and assignee. So, I mean, but, I don't know how much longer Oates is there. Even though he's winning, boy, it sure seems like he's circling the drain. And at some point, they're just going to part company. He needs a fresh start somewhere, it feels like to me.
That's your SEC update on a Tuesday morning.
And it's brought to you by our friends at Modular Orange. Every business needs a website. I don't care if you're a small single proprietor, only employee kind of business, or if you've got full staff and a full variety of products. A great website is how people find your business these days. And whether you're on social media or whether you've got a lot of campaigns to be found online and you're on the radio and all, it all points back to your website, which is really the first point of contact for a lot of people. Modular Orange can create a great-looking website when people are ready to buy and transact on your product or service and make you look great. Make it easy for you to be found, to be gotten a hold of and contacted, for people to do business with you. So if your website's old and stale, it's 3 or 4 or 5 years old, or you just need updates and you don't know who to call any longer, call my friends at Modular Orange, and they can help you with your website. And it's only $95 a month. There's no hidden fees. There's no other tricks. It's $95 a month to create your website with Modular Orange. Go to modularorange.com, see the examples of the work, or call Jordan or Jill at 479-755-3043. That's 755-3043 or modularorange.com.
Let's recap kind of the show this morning. We were just talking about the field storming in your SEC update. Kind of been talking about it, links through it this morning. We've got opinions on both sides, which I think that always makes for a good radio discussion. Some are very against it, and some still think it's okay. And I think you presented a logical premise or two this morning on why it shouldn't happen. Why I think you have more people pushing back on it is because the Arkansas angle and the fact that Arkansas has not been involved, with the exception of 2014 lately, where you've been on the opposing end of that said court storm. I thought that was a sound point for me this morning.
Missouri stormed the field in 14 after beating Arkansas. That didn't have anything to do with beating Arkansas. It had to do with winning the SEC East and going to the championship game. But was that their first year or second year, whatever it was? When did they join the league? 2013, I think, was their first year to play. 12, I don't know. Time gets away. But anyway, point being.
12, yeah, because A&M clobbered you in 12.
Right. So point being, we don't have the perspective. Now, just imagine for a minute. Arkansas's number one next year in basketball. 24-0. Dominant number one team. No one's even touched. Just imagine this for a minute. Go along with me. And you're on the road at Oxford or Starkville or Auburn, and they beat you. And their students storm the court, and they knock down one of your star players. Pick one. I don't care. Pick a player.
Trevin Brazil.
All right, they take
coming off an ACL injury.
Not on purpose, but it happens. They knock him down. Now his knee's injured again. What do you think about court stormings then?
Burn that place to the ground.
Exactly. I want to sue everybody. Get every attorney I can get on the phone. We're suing everybody. And that's, we don't have that, because that's what Alabama and Kentucky, because of their success, live through. Kentucky in basketball, they're the gold standard. Texas could become one of those in this league. We don't see it that way because no one's storming the field or the court when they beat Arkansas. We can't even imagine it in football. That someone, because they beat you. The championship moment for Missouri, I think, is that's a different deal.
And it's not going to happen anytime soon either.
But the league is trying to mitigate future liability. They're trying to, they have an obligation to create a safe place for participants and the people that have a duty on that field, whether they're security, whether they're media, whether they're players, officials, coaches, whatever. They have an obligation to create a safe environment on the playing field or court. I can't wait to talk about this with Chuck tomorrow, because he was in the middle of it when Arkansas beat Auburn. Mm-hmm. And when I say in the middle of it, I mean in the middle of it, sitting at his radio post as people are standing on the scorer's table. Imagine if one of those players had slipped, lost their balance, and fell right on top of Chuck.
Arkansas would be worse off.
Well, he, probably wouldn't. It have injured him. It certainly would have felt good. I can't imagine that was anything less than, at a minimum, an anxious moment. You may say one thing after the fact, or you could hear it in the broadcast, just trying to get through that moment. Everyone at that scorer's table was held captive by that moment. Fortunately, no one got hurt. But it's the duty of the school and the league to make sure that those people are safe.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
That's what this is about. What's your defense if someone gets hurt? You better have it lined up. Well, we have this policy. We enacted this protocol, and this year you've got to be proactive. You can't be reactive to these things if you're Greg Sankey and the member institutions.
Yeah, we had a listener text that in earlier as well. A listener that we have not heard from in quite some time. So we go down to the southwest corner of our state where PA and Texarkana is. PA?
Been a minute.
Good morning, man.
Good morning, gents. How are y'all doing?
Good to hear from you again.
Well, I listen to you guys a lot, just as much as I used to. I just don't comment as much, but it's still the same good show it's always been. I appreciate it.
Thank you. What's on your mind?
But you guys were speaking about Nate Oates just a moment ago.
High moral character guy, Nate Oates, yeah.
He's a good coach, but he's not, like you said, tongue-in-cheek, he's not a high moral guy. But I think when he gets fired, or let go, or whatever you want to call it, is as soon as the negative recruiting of against Alabama affects the first priority football player they got, that they lose to another school. When,
you may be right. Yeah.
It's a good point.
He's there as long as Saban says he can be there.
Right. When Nick sends his message from up high down to the border regents down low, they're going to get rid of Nate Oates as soon as Sir Nick says it's time to go. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean,
wholeheartedly agree.
Everybody at that university, including the president and maybe even the governor, operate at the pleasure of Nick Saban, right? So if you get crossways with Nick Saban, your days are numbered. You know,
doesn't go well. So I think PA, a lot of people agree with what you just said, and hopefully that's sooner than later. Alabama has been a force lately in basketball, at least in the regular season. Postseason wise, Oates and company haven't still made it past the Sweet 16. We'll see if he has a chance to do that. They had their best chance this year, and they fell well short of their goal.
Yeah.
Not just past the Sweet 16, but there were expectations of a Final Four, and instead they ran into San Diego State and the Aztecs and Dutcher, who shut that thing down.
It's just one of them years. I mean, one of them years where, based on all of our brackets, no one expected the teams that ended up there. And experienced players, experience. Can't be it's undervalued in that sport. And I think that's the shift you're going to see is more and more experience, and I think we'll all value that a little bit more next year as we put our brackets together.
It's been a good Tuesday show. Appreciate everyone tuning in this morning. Appreciate Tom Murphy also joining us as well. If you missed any of our conversation with Tom or another topic we discussed, whether it was the field storming, the baseball team heading into tonight's matchup against Missouri State, whatever the case may be, you can listen to our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. For Tommy Kraft, Christian Johnston, and Tom Murphy, I'm Ty Richardson. Enjoy the rest of your night, your day. And remember, Arkansas, Missouri State right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. First pitch at 6:30. Y'all have a good rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels